Hello and welcome back to Trucking Answers Live on Monday. It's Monday, 1 p.m. I go live every Monday at 1, and there's already a group here, and I appreciate it. All right, so let's see who got in here first. Trucker Hershey beat Mad Maldy today and made it in first, and I appreciate you coming in more than a half an hour early. That's really something. Thank you very much. So, off we go. Mad Maldy is here. Thank you for being here today. What's happening? Keto Walk Get Fit. Third place. You were working. Again, as I tell people, your job should let you off from 1 till about 3:30 or so every Monday at Eastern Time, which I would appreciate. Joshua, yeah, this lawsuit that Swift settled is important for lease operators, which we'll get to momentarily, and why you could have a problem if you're leasing a truck. Let's see. Super Trucker 2017. What's happening today? There we go. Walt Wynn. Thanks for being here. Werner might be next. That'd be great. And I have another screen down here. I'm looking at the comments, so I'm not trying to avoid people. So, Todd Wright. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Funny and informative. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Trucker Hershey, right. Lawyers think I'm too informative. That's really good. Mac the Trucker, ShipX, how's that going? Good, I hope. Let's see. So, Mark, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Jared is here. Dwight, nothing. Man, I am here, and we are ready to rock and roll today. So, let me get this screen, the technology, back up. And Almond, what is happening out there? Thanks for being here. Brandon is here from Ohio. I appreciate it. James Miller is out there. What's good out there? Big, huge Mike, what's happening today? Michael Young, what's happening out there? Kim is here. Good. I'm glad to see you today. Jeff is out there. Thanks for coming. A lot of people showing up today. Kenneth. They love the artwork inside the truck. Isn't it pretty nice? Right. I should hang something in there too, right? All right, good. I'm glad to hear it's phenomenal at ShipX. I mean, if you can get miles, ShipX is, going to pay that 6 figures that people always ask me about. I get a lot of letters about that too. Where can I make 6 figures? Brian, working hard with FedEx, going to start hauling cars. Oh, you need to talk to Jay at Auto Transport Intel, which made a convenient way to bring that in. He's live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. So interested in car hauling or anything about that? Check out Jay live at 8 p.m. Central Time right here on YouTube on his own channel at Auto Transport Intel. How about that? Super Trucker from the Walmart over the road. They haven't pulled your phone records yet. They could, though. You have to admit, they could. And you know what? My company hasn't pulled my phone records either because they're not allowed to. So there you go. Chad, good afternoon. Will Hazard, what's happening out there today? Sometimes the picture sticks like this. I see that I'm stuck, so just hang in there. Lori, what's going on in Chicago? Oh, right. I lived at 1800 North Whipple for a long time. That was my first stomping ground up there. James, it's 67 in Dallas, and Michael's in Iowa. Well, are you getting digging out over the weekend, right? It was a total disaster over there. We didn't get any of that. What's up? Cruising through Kentucky, turning in on the headset. Oh, good. Always use a headset from Blue Parrot. Hopefully you'll get the best sound. The show sounds best on a Blue Parrot. Oh, that's pretty good. That's good. I'm going to remember that. Jay Bubba, you just started with Swift today to get your CDL. All right. Let us know how it goes there. How are the instructors and that kind of thing? I'm always curious, It can just be an up and down. You can get a good instructor, and then the next guy is an idiot. You just never know. I mean, you never know at any company. So really would like to know how it goes there and if they keep their promises, all that kind of thing, Let's see. Steve, hey, what's happening? Joshua, you failed the road portion of your Class A test. Oh, that's sad. It makes us all sad. Can you take it over? That's the question. Good morning, Miller. Hey, what's happening? Some people, it's morning, and some people, we're almost done with the day already. Steve McConnell is here. The logistics. Make 6 at Landstar. Yeah, owning your own truck, right? 6 gross is not 6 net. At ShipX, you don't have any risk. So, can you give out the ShipX toll-free number? I think it'll let you put a number in there. I believe so. Yeah. I've been won't let you put no links can be put in there. I don't allow links because I don't know where they go. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where those links go. Balanced cast. Yeah, I haven't seen you. Nice. Everybody's in Chicago today. At least it's not snowing. Max, hopefully I'm having a good Monday. Yes. Every day that you wake up is a good day, of course, and any day that ends in Y is also a good day, right? So as long as we wake up, the rest of the day is going to go good. Steve, what's happening? I'm not in my truck. No, not in the truck right here. I thought you had seen a video. I have a video up on Facebook with the dash cam review, which is going to post here on YouTube a little bit later today. And there's an interior truck video there. So that's why I thought, that's what I thought you were talking about. So, because I'm on Facebook too, at Trucking Answers. I'm on Instagram at Trucking Answers, Twitter, Trucking Answers. Later this week, the first podcast should come out late this week for Trucking Answers podcast. Super excited about that. Larry is on board. Good. Yeah, Almond, I freeze sometimes. I have the router here. I don't know why I freeze. The router's 2 feet from me. Okay, good guys, been chatting. I think good, excited. That's good, Brian. Yeah, I'm, me too, really. What's up, Cash is King? Trucking US 30 across Indiana. We appreciate your business. Hopefully you'll stop here and spend some money in our state so we can fix our roads. Jose, picked up in Dallas, headed to Memphis. That's not too bad. At least it's nice down there. Oklahoma City to Woodburn, Oregon for Thursday. Now that's a good run right there. That's some miles. Reefer fuel sensor screwed up in the shop again. What the holy mackerel? Do you want to see what company that is? They need to fix that kind of stuff. We don't want our ice cream melting all over. Don't worry about the still video capture. Put it in my portfolio. Yes, my portfolio that I have. Denver, Colorado, off for a couple days. Good. Everybody needs some time off. I think companies should give you 2 days per 5, but they don't all do that, right? Jeremiah, what's happening? Denver, Colorado's here. Wow, pure flatbedder. Just watch Western back over a fence and park cars backing in a straight line. That's pretty good. Which Western? The Western Distribution or Western Express? Balanced chaos. You'll find out about how trucking is today when you get called in for work tonight. Yeah, exactly. It's a blue parrot. Good. I had nothing but trouble with the other blue jungle. Yes, exactly. You want to reduce your trouble? Go get a blue parrot, right? Swift driver, you soloed 12 weeks ago and loving it. Yeah, so no contract, right? No problems, and it should have gone good. Look, people give him grief, but you know what? Contract. There's no contract there. A lot of these other places people go to, you got a contract. William is already in 11 hours to your 14 hours. Holy moly. How's the flatbed industry? Yeah, that's a good question. Let's ask the Swift driver here how that's going there. They don't, because that's not their main deal, right? See, for me, I think if I was going to go flatbed, I'd go with a company that does flatbeds, because that's what they do. So, I-20 for Mad Maldy, also getting a nice day. Todd in Brazil. Okay, windy. Yeah, I'll experience that here shortly in a few hours. It's still nice, though. We're done with snow. As I proclaimed last week, winter's over. Although it was a little bit snowy yesterday morning. If you have to ask why at the end of the day it was a bad day, look, if you get up every day, that everything else is gravy. Mark from Alabama, Amanda in Louisiana. What's going on down there? Everybody, is either in Chicago or down south today? Florida, Randall's in Florida. Oh, what's happened? I haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you here today. No longer doing crab company. No, we're doing things to consider about companies. It seems to be more legally permissible. Salt Lake City at the receiver not getting paid. That's no good. You need to call the company and, get paid. Drivers should get paid for their day. Paloa Transportation, whatever that is, right? I never heard of them. Kay Wayne, what's happening out there today? No things to consider. Yes, we have to consider. There's just things to consider. Okay, you can retake the test, Joshua. You have to schedule the day. You can bank what we get, the brake test. Good. Okay, good. So retake it. Well worth it. You got it. Watch some videos about it and stuff. Although it's not the same as, practice. You hope Stevens is on the lawsuit list. I don't know. They won't tell me anything over at Stevens. You won't say the company, but some of the trucks have 3 bunks. Well, that could be a lot of places. As we know, a lot of the places have 3 bunks out there. Oh, thanks, Kenneth. I appreciate it. Look, no problem. You know, we're out here, have fun, whatever. Yeah, Mac the trucker, 60 grand for Fed ShipX, right? ShipX, there's the number for ShipX. I love the place. I've talked to them on email a few times. I just love it. I love the salary. It's 60,000 salary, so that pays every week, even the weeks that you're home. Remember that. It's a true salary company. So there are people sitting in docks not making anything, and there are ShipX drivers sitting at home getting a check. So, I mean, that's the thing. What does no contract mean? Well, some companies, when you go to their truck school, you have a contract where you are required to work there. And if you don't work for a year or whatever, there's no they can make you work there basically. And at Swift, there's no contract. You come to truck school. There's no contract, no minimum time you have to work there. Nothing like that at Swift. And a lot of places have that. Some even have a non-compete where basically you can't work anywhere else. And other companies seem to honor it, even though it's not really legal to do that. Other companies do honor it. So the non-compete, that's even worse than the contract completely. What's the difference between leasing with a company and owning a truck that you lease to the company? Do you still have to haul only for that company? Well, Cash is King Trucking is out there. No, he owns his own truck and is leased onto a company. And if he doesn't like it, he can go anywhere he wants, just like any owner-operator. When you lease a truck from a company like Prime, I'll say Prime because they lease a lot of trucks. So when you lease a truck for Prime, it says in there you need to put the truck on at Prime. And just same as Swift with this lawsuit that was just up. Oh, by the way, I should say that too, right? Anytime towing, I saw that. Anytime towing, I appreciate that. And thanks for being here. I appreciate it very much. So when you lease a truck from a company like Swift and Interstate Equipment Leasing, and that's what this lawsuit was just about that they settled, it says the truck must be put on at Swift during the time of the lease. You're not independent anymore. An independent contractor, according to the IRS, has to be able to work wherever they want. So you have to be able to work here for a week, work there for a day, come back for a week. When the company forces you to work somewhere, you're now an employee. That says, during this time, you have to work for us. You're now an employee. And Swift, what they were trying to do, which Prime also was trying to do in the lawsuit, was say, no, all these drivers, they signed up for arbitration. So now they have to arbitrate, go one at a time to an arbitrator. No, Prime took that to the Supreme Court. The law has always been, since the 30s, that people in the transportation industry are exempt from arbitration. So Prime lost that case. And so Swift's like, holy crap, right? We got 20,000 people now that are going to class action us, which they did. You know, they finally got that. And Swift said, look, we're just going to settle it because they don't want that to go to court. They don't want it to go to court and be decided that these people were all employees. That's what they don't want. And so they just settled it for $100 million, going back to 1999, up to $100 million. So if you've leased a truck from Swift since 1999, you may be entitled to a check for up to $5,000. It didn't say how to do that yet. I'm watching it. And as soon as it says it, I'll put it out there because there are 20,000 drivers. So it may be one of you. If you can't go wherever you want, you don't get, you're an employee. It's as simple as that. If you have to work here, you're an employee. People can lease the truck. They're just renting the truck from the company. Go buy a truck yourself. Then you're an owner-operator. Otherwise, you just bought yourself a job, really. All you did is buy yourself a job. It's 34 in Laredo. Wow. Double lock your door. That's crazy. Stuck in I-80 in Utah, shut down to a vehicle fire. Well, at least it's not for snow, right? Can I do a show on Paloa Transportation? I never heard of them, right? I'd have to look them up and everything. What do you say about them? Is that, what do you think? A 14-hour clock is still counting down on you? Yeah, it never ends, right? It's the never-ending clock. Rent a job is lease. When you lease a truck, and I've yet really to find a solo lease driver that makes more than a company driver at a good company. And then they always write, well, I'm a trainer. Okay, well, that means somebody else is paying it. To compare solo to solo, and you really don't make any more money in a lease purchase than a good company driver does at the same company. Or at any company, really. You're not making any more money. It seems like it's more money. It isn't. $1,200 a week gross for shipping. Well, $1,200 a week at ShipX. Yes. And that's a salary. Remember that. So the weeks you're off, you still get paid. That's nice. Other people take a week off, you don't get money. ShipX, you do. It's a salary because I've talked to him about it. Yes, that's a weekly paycheck every week. You're checking into Tabasco, huh? Is that a hot load? Ha! Holy mackerel. Look, I'm here all week, folks. I'm here all week. You're in a company yard, okay, at Trucker Hershey. Hey, Ontario, Dwayne, is that Ontario CA or Ontario CAN? How about that? Just got pulled over for by DOT for window tint on your T600 cat. Yeah, you can't tint the windows on the truck. They don't allow it. So, yeah, you can get a ticket for that. What about insurance? If you have Swift name on the truck, how can you get past that? You can buy your own insurance always. Any owner-operators, you can buy your own insurance, no problem. That's how owner-operators, get insurance. You can just go on the open market. OIDA sells, through them. There's lots of ways to do it, right? If you have a loan from Swift or CDL school and you leave Swift, you'll have to pay the balance. Yes, that's everywhere. You do have to pay the balance back. That is correct. If you're leased, you can't go anywhere with that truck. Yeah, they always have in that lease thing that the truck must be put on at this company. And look, the leasing company, Success Leasing, Interstate Equipment Leasing, it's run by the companies. Let's be honest about that. It's just the company, another arm of the company. And so then they lease you a truck from themselves, and you have to put it on there. Swift is paying $100 million. You can start your own fleet with that. Yeah, you can compete with Swift with that, right? Where's ShipX located? They're out in Salt Lake City, is headquarters, I believe. I don't know if you have to live. I don't think you have to live out there, though. Company driver with a truck payment, Jody Scott. Yes, that's all you are if you lease the truck. You are a company driver paying off their truck. And if you don't pay it off, they'll just lease it to somebody else. If it was $20,000 driver, that's $5,000 per driver. Right, that's 3 months worth of wages. Exactly. Exactly, $5,000. They settled it because they do not want a court to decide that all these people were employees. You know how much that would cost them? Back to 99. Because the problem then, they have to pay all the Social Security and everything on that. And look, the lease drivers don't want to be called employees either. That's going to be the problem coming up. Some company, it is going to be decided. And if you are leasing a truck and then the government, a court determines that you're an employee, you've got a huge problem. Now, the company has to pay your Social Security, but you'll have to go back because if you were an employee, all those deductions you took, you don't get to take them, right? So you're going to have to redo your taxes and you're going to have a huge problem. It would make me really nervous if I was leasing a truck somewhere because there's case after case like this that the companies are losing or settling. Look, if this was a good case that Swift could have won, they would have fought that. $100 million, you can pay a lot of lawyer time for that. But they didn't think they'd win it. So that's a real problem. That is a real problem. A driver told me he made $86,000 at 43 cents a mile. They can't be possible. Has to be never going home. Well, it depends what other pay there is, right? So there could be stop pay and delay pay and holidays and all that. I'd ask him, what's the total? What's the total breakdown? Canada, you're fighting your way through St. Louis, Missouri. Okay. What's you're waiting to get loaded? Going to take a load of fuel to Disneyland. Wow. Mickey needs fuel over there? Minimum $1,000 a week at Martin for regional. Yeah, guarantee, go get a guarantee. Don't sit around for nothing. If you get a guarantee, you can sit somewhere all day and still get paid. Leasing a truck can be useful for learning freight routes, but it should only be done temporarily before buying your own truck. You could also learn the freight routes by just learning the freight routes. I mean, taking a big risk in the leasing, I'm just not a fan of it. I think there are other ways to learn freight routes besides leasing. I guess that's one way to do it, but it seems like a big expense. For all the money you spend on the leasing, you could just buy yourself a course in freight rates from OIDA or something like that. Starting out, what I recommend, Prime, Maverick, or Swift? Well, of those three, Maverick, they have the guaranteed pay, and then Swift, and then Prime. Prime has a 2-year non-compete, which I have a copy of. So Prime is the longest non-compete, 2 years. That's crazy. What if you own the truck, but the decal says leased to? Can that driver go and lease somewhere else? Do you have to remove the decal? You'd have to have the signage on there from whatever company you're leased to. But if you own the truck, there's no reason you couldn't lease to one person and lease to somebody else or get your own authority. It just depends what you want to do. Anybody know what a good dash cam? Boy, that's convenient. In about 40 minutes, a video is going to hit here with a new dash cam review that I have. It's already up on Facebook, so I really like it. And they gave me a discount code for everybody, and they didn't pay me for the video. So I did get a discount code for you, so there you go. And a 15% off. You'll love it. I have some video from it. It'll show the inside of the truck. Pretty nice, right? Hey, Roger Penske, good morning. What's happening out there? Swift Schneider may be a little better if they're nearby. Schneider has a good apprentice program that's free with no payback, depending where you live. That's certainly worth a call. That's good, right? ShipX is in Salt Lake City. If you live elsewhere, they fly you. That was nice, too. No crack hound over at that place. You stay in a suite that you don't share, not a second-rate motel. They treated people right from the start. That is always a good thing at a company. If they'll start out by flying you out and giving your own room, we're already ahead of the game. You like the new graphics? But, right, I haven't figured out how to get the sound in there. Right, keep switching it up a little bit, liven it up a little. I appreciate it, though. You got a dedicated route at a crap company that gives you 2,800 miles a week, dropping hooks. See, that's not bad. I've always said at any company, if you can get on a dedicated route, I've always recommended that. Go get a dedicated route. So you know what you'll make, even at a bad company or whatever. It can be great. You don't have to mess with all their dispatch, weekend dispatch, which I've heard from a lot of people is a huge problem at these large companies. If you don't have to mess with that, you can do fine. Cash is king. Good. I was hoping you'd chime in here. There are a few free load board apps you can learn the freight lanes at no cost. Oh, that's a good idea too. Good. You should do a video about that. That would be very helpful. Once again, hello from Canada. Hey, thanks for stopping in, Mr. International. Maverick has guaranteed pay. Yes, they have a weekly guarantee. They're better. Yes, they guarantee $1,000 a week, guaranteed. Mega leasers always think they make more money without factoring insurance, taxes, healthcare. Yes, vacation, right? That's where I get a lot of them on that. They think they make more. I said, well, you need to take 5 weeks off like I do with pay and pay your truck payment and all that, and 8 paid holidays, buy health care, all that kind of stuff. Then we'll talk and see how much you make at the end of the year. That settlement is only for the lease ops and owner operators. That settlement is only for lease operators at Swift. People that leased a truck through interstate equipment leasing, apparently back to 1999. Holy mackerel. And depending on how long you lease the truck there, the amount that you'll get varies. But it can go back to 99. That's what they're saying, 20 years. From people that leased from Swift, which is interstate equipment leasing. What's up from Southern California? Yeah, I bet it's nice out there, huh? Should we go to an interview wearing one of those helmets they sell at the Loves? I would like to interview at the Loves with one of the, to haul Loves fuel with a helmet from the Loves. I think that would be great. Go in and haul, or they have semis too, which I just saw the other day. I didn't realize this. They have their own vans. I mean, oh my gosh, go in wearing a helmet to an interview at Loves to drive one of their trucks. They might require it in their handbook that you have to wear it. Hey, Claudio, thank you very much from the Texas Oil Panhandle. I appreciate that. And how's it going down there? I see almost every YouTube person now is going to the oil fields. Is it still going good down there? How's it going? Alex, the OTR driver, is checking in. Yeah, I always look into Schneider. I never seem to do a video about them, although I talk about them a lot on here. As a first-time owner-operator, which insurance company? Well, we'll have to get with Cash is King Trucking or some other owner-operator about that. Or Jay at Auto Transport Intel. He's got Pelican Trucking Insurance over there. They can help you out with some kind of insurance that way. I don't really do the owner-operator side of things because I just haven't, it's just not been my thing. I'm a company driver here, so that, I don't know about that. In terms of training, Schneider was top-notch. You're still grateful to them. Okay, so you get for teaching your craft that's worth 6 figures. When you went to Schneider, did they still have the skid pad? I saw that years ago. Do they still do the skid pad up in Green Bay? Thinking about going to the Mid-America Truck Show via Crack Count. You better get started today if you're going to go down there. Is everybody coming to the Mid-America Show? It's next weekend. Next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Come on down. I'll be there Friday all day, live. Come and say hi to me. I don't know what you look like. So you have to come up and say that you see me on YouTube. I don't know who you are, and tell me who you are. It's going to be great. Leasing is for suckers that want to pay way too much for a truck and don't want to leave the company. You might as well stay as a company driver. At least you can walk out with your head held high and not have anything on your credit report or anything else of whatever these places do. You know, if they put a $100 and some $1,000 truck on your credit. I mean, I always pick on Prime for that, but their leases are over $1,000 a week for their trucks, and that's really a lot of money. So 3 years of that is $150. If it's a 4-year lease, that's over $200,000. That is a lot of money for a lease. It's crazy money, really. Your two youngest boys jumped in the pool for the first time this season, 65 at 12 at 10:25 a.m. That's kind of chilly for me to get in the pool, but I guess if you're young, it doesn't affect you. Once you get into your extreme upper 30s, that kind of thing is really going to have an effect on you. I'm curious if anybody out here is part of this settlement. Is that anybody here lease a truck from Swift through Interstate Equipment Leasing between 1999 and January 1st of this year? So is anybody out here going to get in on that money, and have they sent you a letter or anything else? Because even the articles and stuff didn't have a way to find out about how to collect your money, or I don't know if they're just going to come to your house with a suitcase and knock on the door and run away. I don't know exactly what they're going to do with it, you know, full of 20s or whatever. Not sure. You went to Schneider in 03 and they saw the skid pad. They shut it down since then. That's too bad. I always thought that the skid pad, they had this big skid pad that you'd circle the truck around in Green Bay, Wisconsin at headquarters for Schneider, and it would have it had these big wheels on it so it wouldn't tip over, and it really gave the drivers there a good example of how to control a truck that's in a skid and stuff like that. I really thought it was one of the best things ever. That's not something you can teach on a simulator where we have these screens up. That's not something you can simulate. That is something that has to be taught in a truck. Checking in Bakersfield, California. Super awesome out there. Keto is in West Sacramento. Man, everybody's got it good. You are not far from Ghirardelli over there in San Francisco, one of my favorite loads that I used to get. Are they talking about the medieval armor they sell at Love's? Always thought that was strange. Yes, they have a shelf full of helmets, medieval helmets, and I think that if you're going to go work for Love's, you should buy one of those helmets and wear it. What are they going to say? That's ridiculous? I'm like, yeah, duh, you sell it. Can you buy it with Love's points? Oh, I bet you can. I don't see why you couldn't. Does my company offer a pension? No. And what's the 401k matching policy? Yeah, they matched 4% or 5% on your first 8% or something. I don't exactly know what the match is. We don't have a pension. Hardly anybody has a pension anymore. And hourly or cents. It depends what you do here. Everybody gets different, kind of like a Hogan kind of place where it depends what you're doing. Some people get hourly. Some people get mileage and stops. It depends. And plus you get mileage. Even if you're getting mileage, you get hourly for all your waiting time and stuff like that. Schneider doesn't do the training facility in Green Bay. That's too bad. The skid pad was probably the best part of the training there. They had videos about it and stuff. Hey, Ryano, what's happening out there in the flatbed land? Doing a lease purchase from trucking companies like dealing with the loan shark. It's a really expensive way to get a truck that you probably shouldn't be in because you can't afford it. And they push it really for new people, although anybody, I guess, can get in on it. Because they sell you this idea that, oh, look, you make $1,000 now, but look, you lease this truck, you're going to make the $3,600 a week. Well, yeah, and they don't tell you, no, that's gross money. That isn't, that's not net in your pocket money. You don't net $3,600 a week as a solo driver anywhere. Leasing a single truck by yourself, and that just doesn't happen. Where's the worst truck stop? I don't know. There was that truck stop that had that tiger in it in Texas that I never really liked because I thought it was kind of offensive to hold up a large cat like that, in a cage. But there's plenty of dumpy truck stops, certainly. Am I going to go to the Dallas Truck Show? I don't know. I'm thinking about going down to Dallas to the truck show, but I don't have any plans on it yet. The next thing that I have plans on is probably the Truckin' Jamboree in July, which will be in Walcott, Iowa. Second week of July, like around the 12th, right in there. I should be out there at the Jamboree sometime. Heated pool. Oh, you maybe has a heated pool with 80-degree water temperature. Oh, well, then that's different. I didn't think about that. I forgot, some people making the bucks get the heated pools. Nice. You're doing a 34 in Hammond, Louisiana. Wrong Hammond, since we're from this Hammond up here. So at least, look, if you're doing a 34 on the road, at least we know you're getting some miles and hours of driving. What's a few companies that don't hair follicle test? I don't know. I never ask them. I figure you should be able to pass it. That's my thought on it. So I asked a couple, but I thought this is ridiculous. Why am I asking them about that? So I don't ask companies about it. So I don't know. So Leslie's part of the Swift class action suit on minimum wage. Oh, right. You got a ways to go on that. And I don't know if that will go as far as this, because transportation is exempt from minimum wage specifically. You may get in if you were in California during some of that time, because everybody has to get some of it there. That's not as big as this case, because you have a tougher road to fight because of the way the law is structured, I think. You went on that skid pad during training. It was the best training you've ever had. 16 years later, you've never had an accident. Is that not the best thing? I don't know why they would close that. I mean, that just seemed like this is great training here. You run the skid pad. I mean, it's perfect training for the road. Perfect. What's the lawsuit all about with Prime and Swift? Well, Prime lease operators were suing, saying, look, we're employees. A couple of them got together and said, we want to class action you because the lease is a scam. And Prime said, no, in our contract with you, you have to go to arbitration. And the driver said, no. The law says we don't have to go to arbitration. Prime fought that all the way to the Supreme Court. Okay, and Prime lost because the law does say transportation workers are exempt from arbitration. You cannot be forced into arbitration. So bingo. So what has happened 10 years ago, a lawsuit was put against Swift saying that that all their people that leased a truck are actually employees. And they said, you got to pay us like employees because of the way you did business. And Swift said, no, arbitration. Well, then the Prime lost their case just a couple months ago, which I did a video about. And Swift said, oh, crap. Now all these people can go to class action. And Swift does not want everybody to be in a class action against them and have it ruled that they're all employees. So they settled with 20,000 people to keep it out of court so that a court would not rule that they're employees. When you are a lease operator or anybody, if you can't work for anyone else, part of being an independent contractor, the IRS says, you have to be able to sell your services on the open market, meaning I work here for a day, there for a week, there for a month, I'm back here for a day. It's up to me where I work. The lease contracts don't allow that. They require you to work for one company. That makes you an employee. So these companies are getting nervous. And if I was a lease operator, I'd be nervous too, because you're going to eventually be transferred to be an employee as long as these cases go. So far, the trucking companies, and these are not small companies that just don't have any money to fight it. You think Swift doesn't have money to fight a lawsuit? It's the largest trucking company in the country. And they settled it rather than fight it because they know that they're on the losing end of it. It's a problem. One of them is going to go all the way and get a determination. And then lease operators are going to have a huge problem. Huge problem. The truck stop that had the tigers in Louisiana. Oh, okay. I was down there somewhere, maybe by the border. Worst truck stop is in West Memphis. Yeah, I guess if you combine all the West Memphis ones, I totally agree. Right. Peterbilt, hey, what's happening? Good to see you today. You've been seeing cab overs? I saw a cab over on Friday, and I thought of you. I thought, oh, I bet Peterbilt 379 would like seeing that thing. Hair doesn't grow on your body. They have tweezers, let's just put it that way, and apparently they'll go get it wherever it is. Joshua, skid pad. Yes, Schneider had a large, wet skid pad where you'd turn that truck in a circle and get it to try to roll over, and it had these big outriggers on it with wheels, and it would tip onto these things, and then you would learn how to control a skid. Really. There's tons of videos about it. I mean, it seemed like some of the best training going, really. I'm sad that they took it out of there. They're probably saying, oh, well, because the truck has skid control, it's all computerized now, it won't let you do it. There's nothing like training in a truck that's half on its side to get you to learn what the heck you're doing. The pilot at Weed, California, worst truck stop, 5 accidents a week per the Weed police. Oh, nice. So it sounds like a great place. Pilots are all, I don't like pilots. I'm not a fan of them. Leases are sketchy. You better get your contracts lawyer approved for protection. Here's the problem with that, though, Rhino. Like the lease says, okay, so you have to go to arbitration. They are not allowed to do that. That's not legal. And that's why they fought it and lost. So because a lease says something, I'm sure some of these people have had a lawyer look at it, somebody, and the lawyers pass it, but it's not allowed. Some things just aren't allowed. You can't insert things in there that are illegal. They don't allow it. Worst truck stop is West Memphis. Yeah, they're getting the award for worst truck stop. It's good when a mega carrier lost those kind of case. It teaches them a good lesson, and they got to pay. But I wish Swift would have taken it and lost the whole case, really, because that would change the entire leasing industry really quickly. But these people are also suing Prime now. It's on a course for the guys that won the arbitration part are now going forward with the class action against Prime. So we'll see where that goes. Swift is like the slave drivers of Walmart now, other than no contract. The reason a lease operator cannot fall for different companies, people, is insurance. If you're leased to a company under their DOT number, you could peel that off and stick a new one on there if you had your own insurance. The problem in the lease, it says as long as you're paying for this truck, it has to be here. Okay, that makes you an employee. That's a problem. They're not allowed to do that. You're not independent anymore. To be independent, you have to be able to sell your services on the open market. If you're prohibited from that, then you're an employee and the company has to pay you as such. And that would make me nervous if I was leasing a truck somewhere because they're losing the cases and you're next. You're going to be determined to be an employee. And all those deductions you took, you're going to have to redo your taxes maybe. And because you won't get to take them. You're an employee, you don't get to take those deductions. Is Danny Herman Trucking good for pay? Is anybody out here from Danny Herman, DHT? You saw a Marmon truck the other day pulling a dry van. Wow, maybe he was headed to the truck show with that thing. Marmon, right, made in the USA. They're tough, right? And they're super heavy, handmade steel trucks. That truck on the skid pad sounds fun. You'd pay good money. Yeah, they should put that out as like an exhibit and people could pay to come and do it. There's videos about it. It seems like it'd be great training and a lot of fun too, yeah. On the Schneider skid pad, they jackknife you, lock up random wheels. It's crazy. That's great training, though. Don't you agree? That they cancel that? That's too bad. You saw 3 cab overs in a week. Huh, they must all stay down by you. Or they're in a procession, either to a slow roll. Oh, they're going to slow roll on the way to the truck show. That's great. All lease operators are company. Yeah, you're just a company driver that rents your truck. Jody says that they're 36 cents over there. Whew. That's a little bit nerve-wracking. Hey, what's happening from Europe? What's going on in Europe today? Man, as always, I ask everyone from Europe, how much is gas? I love asking people that because I'm just curious. The country, some of them are huge, high, some of them are not. Lease operators are just company drivers. They don't have the benefits. You rent a truck. You give up all your benefits and you make a couple $100, which is what your benefits would cost you. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't really make any sense. You'd go home and then you owe a truck payment when you come back. Other than a few places that don't do it like that. The best truck stop was the Bingo at Kingman, Arizona. All right. What about 3 Arrows? What about that place? How about 3 Arrows? Bring me 3 Arrows. Landstar's own operators, but do they lease? I don't think so. I think you need to bring your own truck onto Landstar. They will sell you a trailer. So what's gone on to be the problem with the leasing, given what's going to be the problem with the leasing? The example I think to be a problem will be when a company loses. They're going to lose eventually, and lease operators are going to be determined to be they'll be determined to be employees as long as the lease says you can't go anywhere else, because that's really how the law is written. And so now if you become an employee, bingo, no deductions. You're an employee, right? You don't get to do your per diem. You don't get to do all that stuff that you were doing. No, because now you work for them. And so they will have to pay your Social Security, So you'll just be an employee, just like you should be anyway, which is basically what you are. You're just buying your job, unlike most of us that just drive somebody else's truck, and the truck will then go back to them. Really, I think maybe they'll let you continue to pay for their truck. I probably would if I was them. You heard a lot of good things about Landstar. I've always liked Landstar. I've always said, I would certainly look into it. You'll take your prime lease anywhere else. I get to take your prime lease anywhere else that would take the payment directly out of your settlement. That's not independent. That's not how it works. Independent, you get to go wherever you want. They don't get to put restrictions. Once a company restricts you, you're now an employee. Independent is independent. Gas is expensive. Yeah, that's the problem, right? But everybody gets, at least you can drive a stick shift over there, which we don't get anymore. You just find it better to go full owner operator. At least you are in control. You really are independent. You can come and go as you please without anybody saying anything to you. Put your truck on where you want, or you can just haul freight off a load board. Swift has their own skid pad. It's for every highway in North America. That's good. Every highway when it rains, right? Wouldn't Iowa 80 be the best truck stop? Maybe. Yeah, they're certainly the best for parking, I think. You know what, 900 and some parking spots? I've never been in there when there wasn't a spot, day or night. It didn't make any difference. You didn't always get the prime spots across from the dog wash. But there was always a parking spot there. And always a shower, too. 1 and 9 truck stop in Jersey. Oh, is the best truck stop? Really? Not 3 Arrows? Albany, yeah, exactly. Nasty Newt sold out to Pilot. Nasty Newts. Where was that place? That doesn't sound like a truck stop. That sounds like an establishment next to the truck stop. You like Petros that have a Papa John's? There's not too many of those around, right? Are they putting Papa John's in there now? I always like the pizza at the J, really. They always had those pizzas out there. Not bad. I'm confused if California has banned pre-emissions trucks. No, not yet. Not that I've heard of. Because some people say they got to fine for running older trucks, but some say they run older trucks. I don't think it's banned yet. They did say this week, right? No diesel fuel after 2050 or something, but we'll see how that works. I don't know if they'll be able to do that or not. So no freight is going to be able to come in or out of the state after 2050. That unless it's running an alternative fuel, as they said. ATS has a 1 lease program, year lease. Do you know if it's any good? Well, I know I've read a little bit about it, that it's walk away after a year, but I'm just not a fan of renting a truck from a company. I just am not, really. You give up all your benefits, and I don't know what you get in return for it. I haven't found what you're getting in return for it. Night is okay. Are you there at night? And what do you think about it? They have tons of dedicated runs, which I am a fan of. Get on a dedicated run. It was in Hesperia, California at Cajon Pass. All right. JJ's in Arkansas on I-30 holds 400 trucks. That's not bad. The bigger, the better. Some of these pilots hold 300 trucks in like a half a block. You know, they try to squeeze you in, like the one in Indy at exit 4 off of 465. Oh my gosh, that one's a total disaster. Petro Reno before Donner Pass is great if you like casinos. Yeah. Sparks, Nevada, with all the truck stops, very nice. Lots of parking. They just basically park you in the desert. Hundreds of trucks out there, agree. Arizona has some truck stops. Iowa 80 is a truck stop, no matter what time of the day it is. If you don't need to stop, yeah, you should stop there. Everybody needs to go there. And that's where the Trucker Jamboree is in July, where I hope to see everybody at the Iowa 80. Will you be there? How the heck is that going to work? I mean, electric trucks still won't be that practical. Well, what they're saying is alternative fuel. That could be natural gas, which they already have those trucks running around. It can be electric. It can be natural gas and electric hybrid, that kind of thing. They're just not going to allow diesel fuel. That's what they're suggesting. West Memphis has the best truck stops. If you are a criminal, they do have the best truck stops. Or someone that works in the truck stop parking lot area, I think is what I would say. Start a company that's dedicated for rookies. Well, Knight and Swift and they do have dedicated runs around the country. You'd have to call each place. They don't usually do rookie dedicated. There is some of it, and there are plenty of jobs in Chicago for drivers, certainly. Just got a letter in the mail. Oh, the class action against Pam. Drivers should have been paid hourly for layover pay, right? Not just $40. Yes, exactly. Pam lost that as well. There's been a case. I did a video about that. That was a state case, though, so that is not as big of a case, and it was decided that they should have been paid. So now it was remanded back to the lower court for reconsideration. It is still going. Pam is fighting that still because they have a better case at Pam. Because Pam has the case of the federal government saying transportation workers are exempt from minimum wage. So that's what they're hanging their hat on, and I think they have a good shot at winning that. I do think Pam will win the case eventually. And 40 for 24 hours, I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's better than some, but it's still, who does that? I mean, there's no point in working someplace that gives you $40 for 24 hours. That's the amazing part of it, I really find. And I get new drivers don't understand or whatever, but everybody understands that 24 hours for $40 is no money. You don't have to be a new driver or whatever to understand that, you know, $1.75 an hour is not great money. And so why people do it is, I don't know. What did the letter say, by the way? Are you supposed to take any action, or what do they want you to do? Oh, the Petro and Joplin, yeah, you can get all your Chrome and stuff over there too. The Bingo and Kingman gives you free steak and char plus reserved parking if you feel, wow. They're still, that must be the last place doing that. That's really great. You hope California gets their independence from the U.S. so American truckers won't be affected by their stupidity. They can split off anytime they want to, certainly. We agree, we're all in agreement with that. The pilot in Shelbyville is a disaster, too. Always at least 4 fuel pumps down. Yeah, look, why are the pumps down every day? You go in a place, same place, day, pump down, pump down. Look, you don't want to pump fuel? What is the point of that? California is the main reason for the DPF. Yes, exactly. Everything spreads because trucks they're not going to make 2 for separate trucks. With all the lawsuits happening, right, it's about time that people finally rose up, and took their rightful place and said, you can't do this to us. Like Pam, $40 for 24 hours? No. At least, and the funny thing is, with Pam, why don't they just pay people? They are spending millions of dollars on lawyers, corporate lawyers, rather than paying the drivers. What does that tell you about the place? We will spend all this money to be able to pay you nothing. Why don't they just pay the people? All right, they should say, all right, we'll pay people. How about that? Half the fun of driving is hearing the sweet sound of a diesel. Yeah, if you can get the turbo whistle, some of them give you a nice whistle when you're driving around. Love it. Do I see more companies merging? Yeah, absolutely. I think in not too many years, there's not going to be that many companies. They just get swallowed up by the large companies. Truck stops in Alaska and Hawaii. Oh, probably pretty thin on that. I don't know if there's any in Hawaii. There must be somewhere to fill up your truck, though. You feel bad for truckers who live in California. I feel bad for everybody that lives in California, other than for like the entire winter. Then they feel bad for me. Just move. You could move out of California. All these hotshot truckers should have to use e-logs and should comply with the truck laws. I agree. Maybe they should drive a decent speed and not laugh at us as we're burning our clock following them. I totally agree. Most of them probably are not complying. You can't get a F350 or whatever, which I've seen this, and a wedge with 4 cars on it or whatever, and still be under 26,000. A big metal wedge. No way. Because what's the truck weigh? 10 or 12,000 pounds? The whole thing has got to be over 26. It's got to be CDL. But they just scam around it. Let's hope California is not dumb to pass a law like that. Look, they want to pass it. And it'll be a huge problem. I mean, it'll be a huge problem. 2050, though. You'll have to deal with it. Hey, Michael Watts, I am doing great. It's going good over there. Aren't small trucking companies a majority? Yes, by far. By far. Most people work for a small place. If you don't take action, you're automatically included in the lawsuit. All right, so that's what they're saying. And if you work there between certain dates. Okay, yeah, so you're just going to be part of it. I just don't think you're going to get anything out of it. I don't see it going anywhere because Pam really does have the law on their side, unfortunately. They have the law that says transportation workers are specifically exempted. And so, just like the arbitration, transportation workers are exempt from arbitration, so companies couldn't force it on you. But then the other side is we're also exempt from minimum wage, so we can't really enforce it on them. So I think Pam, if they'll move this up federally and they'll probably win it. I just don't think you're going to get anything out of it. I hope you do. But remember, I don't know if you still work there, probably not, but if you do, the place will spend a ton of money to not pay you anything. Isn't there a reason older trucks are exempt? Yeah, they can't plug them into the computer because it doesn't have any computers. Although that shouldn't be a reason. There's no reason they couldn't GPS your location, but they want it all installed in the truck, so that's why they exempt them. Your dad always said at some point you'll work for J.B. Hunt, Swift, or McDonald's. Yeah, we're all going to work there eventually. I know a guy that works at Swift. He says, you might as well come here. Eventually you're going to work here anyhow. So I think they're both right, kind of the same kind of thing. They'll be like, at some point, there'll be like 10 companies in the country, and we'll be working at one of them. You'll be an outlaw by 1990. Good luck keeping the thing on the road, though. Holy moly. Old trucks, ECM won't read the E-log. Yeah, they can't read anything, and so there's nothing the government could do about it because they figure eventually you'll have to take the truck off the road. You're all about saving the environment, Mad Maldy. I knew you were green all the time. You're just plain ignorant if you think things shouldn't change and love the big shit stacks. Look, I like the way it sounds. I drive a small car that gets good fuel mileage and everything. So, I mean, saving the environment, yeah. I think that just having a set date to cut off diesel, I don't know if that's going to work, though. I just don't know if it's going to work. Because that would affect, they said it's for in and out-of-state trucks. You won't be allowed in the state. So that would change the entire country. We'll have to comply basically with California. We'll all be running either an electric, a Tesla, some kind of hybrid. That's what I think would work best probably. A natural gas electric hybrid truck would probably work better for best fuel mileage. We'll see what happens. I'll still be doing this show live right now in 2050 every Monday at 1 p.m. That means they're going to hose a lot of local trucking companies. Yeah, they'll have to buy new trucks. Becomes mandatory across the board because half the trucking companies are pre-emission. They won't allow them. That's how they'll get the diesels out too. The pre-emissions, they just don't allow diesel fuel at all. Presumably, you won't even be able to sell it. If they don't allow the trucks, I suppose they'll probably not allow it to be sold either. Well, that would be interesting for people that have a diesel-powered car. I wonder how that would affect them. Why do people keep working for companies like Pam? Yeah, I don't understand it. I'm hesitant to gripe at new drivers because they don't know. But when you see a place that is paying $1.75 an hour, even you'd have to be like new to the country or new to working to not know that's like not a lot of money. That if you sit for a day, of course, Pam doesn't put that out there. You have to really interrogate him about it. But I think it's a real problem. And certainly once you're there and you find that out, you got to leave. And so that's probably how they have a lot of turnover, but not enough. Diesel cutoff. What about the cargo ships? Oh, that's going to be interesting too. I wonder if they'll outlaw the cargo ships, or will they say that's not really California? You're all for saving the environment. There has to be a better way. I mean, this is pretty drastic. It's going to be a pretty drastic change to trucking. Your company's having trouble finding your dry loads. It's my company, or is it the trucking business that's slow? You don't have a load today. It's you. It's you, not you, right? It's your company. Tell them to get you a load. I mean, there's freight. There's freight for everybody. Tell your company, call the ATA. They said there's no drivers to boom all this freight all over the place, right? But you can't get a load. You're just in a bad spot or whatever. There's no load there. You should be getting paid for that time if there's no load, as I always say. If you had a daily pay, it wouldn't be as big of a problem. Hopefully you're getting that. But no, there's loads around. You are just in a spot where there's no loads. Or they're bad at finding you loads. If it happens all the time, it's time to hit the road, right? They said the amount of pre-E-log trucks is so small they weren't going to mess with it. Yeah, there can't be that many, right? You're going to buy a 96 FLD. Wow. Old trucks will run as long as you maintain them. Look at Bob Spooner. It has 8 million. I don't know who that is, but that's a lot of miles on a truck. And you could just keep rebuilding it or whatever. Absolutely. That's an old truck, though. I mean, it would only be owner-operators. Let's put it that way. No company driver probably would do it. And if you want to do it, I'm all for it, right? The truck's got to be cheap. How much could it cost to buy that truck? $500? Seriously, it's not going to be much, so you'll make money with it. I agree. If the industry goes to all electric, your driving days are done. Look up, well, what about all that torque? Go on YouTube. You're already on YouTube. Later, after the show, there is a video of that Tesla truck accelerating. It's pretty impressive. So, of course, you use like half the battery juice trying to get the thing up to speed when you floor it like that. But it was pretty impressive. I'll tell you that. What if with the liberals and then trying to put different industries out of business? Those dang liberals out there. I think they've always done this in California. They have carb emissions for cars and everything. I'm going to look into whether you can still have a diesel-powered car after that date. Are they going to ban all diesels or commercial diesels? What about trains? Jerry Brown loves trains. They're diesel electric. That's true. I don't know what they'll do. Maybe they might exempt trains. Maybe they'll say for road use only or something like that, because the train industry, what are they going to replace that with? How many batteries would they need to run a train? You know, on straight electric power, so without the engine. You know, they'll probably say, okay, trains, cars, okay, but just commercial, transportation is not allowed. Peterbilt's going to move to Canada. Holy mackerel. Okay, so you started with Pam, forced to do 2 34 hours since Friday at 9 a.m., but gives you time to watch the show. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, how much did they say they're going to pay you? Do you know? It's not much for 70 some hours. What are you really going to get? And that will help other drivers to know what you're going to get paid. Terry works at JB on a dedicated. So what do you think about JB on a dedicated account? Usually a large company on a dedicated does pretty good for people. Knowledge is power. Who says that for bonus points? I agree, right? The day that becomes the law is the day you're going to hang it up. Okay. Ask Gavin about the bullet train in Central Valley. Nobody rides the trains, though. I mean, to work or anything. They keep trying to put these in the Acela Express in the Northeast for Amtrak. Who takes a train to work? Anybody? You might move to Mexico, or they keep good trucks. Look, at least the weather's better. If you're going to move, go south, right? You've never sat with your company in 2 years. Right, that's much better. But even if you sit, if you sit or whatever, you should get paid. And I love when companies say, you ask them and they go, oh, well, there's no really layover. We don't do it much. All right, well, then what are you going to pay me? Since it's so unusual, I'm sure you're willing to pay for it. That's the thing of it. And they say, well, we don't pay for it. Well, if it's so unusual, why wouldn't you pay somebody for it? The JB Hunts are the most rusty ones on the road. Those containers, they rust. I guess because they're on the ship and the salt water rusts them out. Really. They'll treat California like Mexico. They'll have drop yards and border states. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. The border it'll be just like the border of another country, which it basically is anyway. At least you wouldn't have to wash your truck so much anymore, because whenever I went in California, I'd always stop in Yuma or whatever on the border and get a truck wash and trailer before you went in California, so it was clean. And I don't know if that was an old wives' tale. That's what I was always told, so I always did it. And I never really had a problem there. I don't know if it was because of my clean truck or the truck wash calls ahead. It's like it's a bribe. They give a DOT guy $2. I'm not sure. California should change to California. Yeah, people have said that. Certainly right. Older trucks are a lot more reliable. It depends. I've had very little problem with my 18 Cascadia. People still work at Pam because suckers are born every day. Go watch the Driver Solution. Yeah, that is Pam. Driver Solutions, right, as Pam. Those are Pam. I don't know if they're recruiters, official recruiters for Pam, but that's a Pam channel. Those aren't real drivers. Those are Pam people that just send you to Pam. What about Truck World in Hubbard, Ohio? Oh, that's a good place too, right? Jay Cannell blew his transmission this morning while driving in the oil field. Was that a new truck or anything? Or I saw that he went over to the oil fields. Everybody's over there now, right? I'm like the only one not there. I guess I should go too. We should all go, I guess. I don't know. Buenos dias, tacos, and tortillas. Exactly, right? Love them both. So Dwayne has a half-ton 1500, and even it has a filtered DEF. Right. All diesels required to have it now. My friend has a Passat that takes DEF. Okay, so there you go. And it's a 2-liter diesel. And it has he has to fill the DEF. It gets filled at the oil changes, so it lasts a while. You don't run California. It makes it easier not to go there. You don't have problems, right? Is when I was going out there in a reefer, though, I mean, that's where the loads were. And you'd get out of there and go all the way across the country. So Bob Spooner's been driving since the 50s. Really? That's 60 years. Maybe time to retire. I don't know who it is. That's why people hate liberals, because they're stupid. You want to, well, Peterbilt, you can stick those stickers all over your car, whatever. Absolutely right. Truck show, I'm assuming the truck shows will be dead because we all know. Oh, well, no. The truck shows out there will just have the newest natural gas trucks or whatever. You can still put a 150-inch sleeper on a natural gas truck. So truck shows won't end. So that's certainly not. If they ban diesel in commercial vehicles, then Walter not be enough for demand for diesel to make it worth fueling company refining and selling it. There go your cars. Well, I don't know about that. Most of the country, or most of the world here, which we had a European person here, uses diesel in their cars. So there's still a lot of diesel usage around the world, not just here. So I don't know, what our percentage of the total world diesel use is. You go to Europe or whatever, the cars are all diesels. That's the only thing that's good. Just don't go to California, let them starve. People say that, but then people go. That is the solution. Say, fine, at this date, nobody comes in or out. And then they'll have no choice. You're not a country boy, so you don't have trains. They run by there, right? But nobody takes them to work. California keeps building these train systems like people are going to take it to work. Nobody's taking the train to work. What about jet aircraft fuel? It's a form of diesel. They'll say, look, that stuff they're going to exempt. They'll say, okay, jet fuel, Jet A or whatever, that's exempt. Cars, I think they'll exempt cars. There's not that many. And so then people's pickup truck, they'll exempt. But if you register the vehicle, like you apportion it, maybe Class 8 or 6 or something like that and up, no diesel. I think that's how it would work. You could run kerosene, you could, but they won't sell you the truck anymore. Wonder what the Trump administration and other more red states sue California. No, I don't think so, because California in the EPA laws in the 70s got an exemption. Here we go with the exemptions again. That's why they're allowed to have different emissions laws than the rest of the country. And so they're legally exempt. They can have their own regulations, so it's allowed. So no suit. Oh, on 3,400 paid miles. Wow. You bought home with $1,200 with full benefits. It's not bad here. Marvin Keller. Oh, right. Marvin Keller. They advertise a lot, at least on Instagram. I'm on Instagram too. But they talk about their training program and stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty good. $1,200 full benefits. That's lease driver money. I mean, seriously, that's really good. How about a border wall? We can build the wall right there. Negative. Jay Cannell is driving a 1990 Peterbilt. Oh, my God. Holy moly. No wonder it blows the transmission out. California is the reason some truckers hang it up. Yeah, especially out there. They don't want to deal with it. Local radio station said he will not build the wall. He just wants crime scene tape. Okay, that at least something. You haven't been out to California in a truck in more than a dozen years, and you're going to keep it that way. I haven't been out there for a long time. I agree. Are we going to talk about anything else besides the wall? Al John's made it out here. Everybody knows that most of the popular trucks are Peterbilt's. Yeah, that's what's at the truck show, certainly. Reefers run on fossil fuel. Well, they'll say that's off. That's not road diesel. Okay, that the reefer and some truck stops have it separate, right, as off-road diesel. So they can exempt that, and really, there's no reason that couldn't probably easily change to natural gas. That'd be a much easier switch over. But they can just easily exempt off-road fuel. You do need people there? Okay. It's Southern California's the problem, not, well, the one state, as one goes down, they all go down. If you have an automatic restriction on your license, what's the best route to take to get a regular CDL? Look, if your company has manuals, ask them to show you how to drive it, or if you already know how, ask them to let you use it to take the test. Some states, you can actually rent a truck from the state for your test and get the restriction off that way. So there are ways to do it without going back to truck school. And really, is the automatic restriction causing you problems? Like where I am now, we'll take the restriction we didn't used to. And I look through ads, and a lot of companies say, we accept this restriction now. So I don't know if it's as big a problem as it was. And I think that really soon in the future, I thought 5 years, maybe even not as long as that, They're not going to have it because what's the point of it? You don't have it on your car license. You can go drive whatever car you want. You just get a license to drive a car. You can take a test for the car in an automatic and drive a manual. It isn't any problem legally. So I think that the best way would to see if your company has a manual you can use for the test. That's the easiest way to do it. If not, call the state, DMV or whatever it's called in your state, and see if they allow you to rent a manual. They might. They might. If not, I've heard of people renting them from Penske or, truck rental places. Maybe U-Haul could have one large enough to rent. I don't know about that. Sometimes you can do it that way. You'll have to spend a few $100 probably, but that'd be easier than going to truck school. I'll email you a snapshot. Yeah, next time I see it on there, right. Most well taken care of older trucks are good. They just get all ratty, though. People don't, after a while. Do I think the DPF will go away or be modified so we don't spend so much downtime? It depends, right? I haven't had any problems with mine, and we've only maybe a few of our trucks have had DPF problems, so I'm not sure why some have problems and why some don't. But so far, no. If anything, they'll use more of it to get better mileage. Just buy an old military deuce and a half. It'll run. Oh yeah, it'll run in anything. You can pour almost anything that is liquid, just about. You could pour in there and it'll run, no problem. Paid miles versus actual driven miles. Yes, you want those to be as close as possible. It'd be better to make all trucks use biodiesel. You could see that being better than burning diesel, than banning it. I wonder if California would allow biodiesel to run in these trucks. It seems like civil service in the area pays the most and is secure. Yeah. Somebody was on here, I think, last week for the city of Chicago and was making all kinds of bucks on that. So, absolutely. If you can get into that, that would pay good, too. Reefers, new ones take the low sulfur diesel fuel. Right. I think they could convert them, though, right? That would be an easier conversion than the semis. The big one couldn't come any faster. Yeah. Hey, they're born from Tacoma, sitting in a dock at Costco. How long have you been sitting in the dock at Costco? I heard they're not that great about that. You see the automatic restriction becoming standard and manual becoming an endorsement. Oh, that's interesting. You'll have to go down and test in a manual. Yeah, because there's less and less of them. We only have a couple left. All the new trucks are automatics. What do I think will come of this thing in California? I think they'll eventually get it through. I do. Because they're allowed to do it. It's getting better for auto trucks, but it's cool shifting in gears and honking. Yeah, look, it's nice to be able to shift so that you can get any truck you want out of the place. And the horn honking, I guess you can honk the horn even in an automatic. How does DEF improve on mileage? Well, before the DEF, they put a lot of aftermarket, what am I trying to think of, right? They reburned the exhaust or whatever, and so it reduced the mileage. With the extra DEF, they don't have to treat the exhaust by reburning it, and so it got better mileage, and the trucks did go up in mileage from the older ones. You thought California was leading the effort of DEF due to killing the insect population. Does that work anywhere? Local CDL school only trains manual for B. I would think Autotrans upgrade would be no-brainer for the DOT test. All right, yes, but you got to bring the truck. The problem is, if you don't have it, you got to bring a truck down that meets the requirements. You're going to have to get a manually shifted semi. That's the real problem people find. How do you get a manual semi to bring down to the test? I got messages coming in. I can't read them fast enough. I'm working on it. I try to keep up with the messages. Liberals are banning planes. I don't think so. A lot of them flying on planes. DEF is a urea, not urine, right? And it's only partial with ammonia. So we've had some drivers say you can just like pee in there or whatever, and I don't think that works out very good. And I don't know if I would want to anyway because of injury issues, let's put it that way. So I don't think that works in there. There's certainly enough jugs. If that was true, there'd be all the jugs you could just pick up and save. All the owner-operators would save all that money by just picking up the jugs around the back of the truck stop. You've been to Costco in Jersey and Dallas, Michigan, Monrovia. Don't think you've spent more than 3 hours. Oh, really? So how long are you going to, how long are we going to be at this one in Washington? How long before they ban diesel? I don't, it'll just be California, and they talk 2050. So if anything, they will get it pushed back some. I may be retired by then. I don't know. I'll still be doing the show until probably 2075 or so. But gonna come. They will do it first, and then it'll spread for environmental or whatever. It certainly. I mean, that's what they do out there. They had CARB. They had all these emissions. Used to be a car was sold either 49 state or 50 state emissions, and it would be on the window sticker. 50 state emissions because they adapted it for California. That's how cars were. Now they're all 50 states, but years ago, that's how they did it because you got different horsepower and stuff in California because of the way they had to do it. It was crazy. You were sure born in the 80s. Those you'd be retirement age by then. Not yet, right? Oh, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Trying to keep it up here, right? Just backed up to a dock now. You'll see. So you've been there since 9 a.m. local time. So you've been there a couple of hours already. They better get you in and out of there. We need to start getting paid also. While you're young enough to get away with it. Yes. Look, I'll make it to that. No problem. 2075, yes. At that point, the show may go off the air at that time. Are truck stops closing or opening? I think they're closing. I don't see that many opening other than Love's. But then for every truck stop that opens, a rest area closes. And an angel gets its wings. I'm not going to use my personal urine in the company's. Yeah, that's yours to do with whatever you wish. Certainly, you can put it in the truck. I don't think you can. Okay? I really don't think if you put it in there. I've never put anything else in there. Okay? I don't know what happens if it has some kind of sensor to reject anything that's not correct. I don't know what happens. You can't read that fast. 2075. Yeah. I'll put it on slow. I can slow down the comments. I'll have to click that box so I get slow comments. It doesn't turn into ammonia. It's injected in the exhaust, and the heat evaporates the water and decomposes the urea. Right, urea, but not what you were posting before. Thoughts on doing rail yard runs? Depends what it pays. Everything depends what it pays. JB Honda's always big on that. They put in their ads, oh, we run the rail yards, and we have our own way to get in the yard, and we have our special gate. That's what it says. Does that help, though? Do they pay enough? Because I've heard it's so much a day, $100 a day and 30 cents a mile or something is the way it's always put out to me, which seems low, but then you get this extra amount. It depends. I mean, I used to run the rails in Chicago, but that was rail to rail, and that was home every day. You'd pick up from one railroad because it had to be transferred to another one for wherever it was going, and you got a flat rate. This one paid $8. It was $15 to go here. It just depended where you went. But that was some time ago. You're 37, and do you think you'll see autonomous trucks before 63? You'll see them, but they won't take your job. So they'll be around, but not in any large amount. I mean, it is decades before they get any amount of them going. And I don't think will take your job. You're 16, you're guessing you'll get to drive diesel for years. You'll get some diesels. The rest here is, they keep closing them, right? An angel got his wing. That's how it works. Every time a rest area closes, an angel gets its wings. JB Hunt isn't any good. You were by UPS in Philly. You had to wait 20 minutes as all straight trucks were leaving in a cadence. Wow. Must be nice. Yeah, for them. Right, because they don't care about you, but that's pretty good. The dash cam video's up. Yeah, I saw that. Should have gone up at 2 o'clock or so. And look, that dash cam I got, I liked it, right? They sent it to me to try out. So you can see that out there. It's a review of that. And I put some video in there too. It works really good. So this one I really like. There are no perfect companies. I totally agree. I just don't think that a place like Pam, where you're getting $40 for 24 hours, that's so low that it is not worth considering. Oh, here's urea is a highly soluble organic compound formed to deliver from the ammonia produced by the deamination of amino acids. Oh, nice. Wow. So this is great. Do you know what the licensing deal with Washington with company CDL training? No. What is the deal in Washington with company CDL training? What are we talking about here? San Bernardino Intermodal is paid activity paid and drop pay. Some of the guys $200 a day. That wouldn't be enough at San Bernardino. $200 a day. I mean, no way. Holy mackerel. It's $300 a day just to live there. You sent me an email. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll check it out here in a little bit. Andrew Yang says different. They're only 10 years away. Andrew Yang says everybody should get $1,000 a month just for existing too. He's way off. He knows nothing about it. No way. Don't worry about autonomous trucks. Tesla just got more lawsuits. Yeah. Look, Tesla cars are crashing into sided trailers because they don't know that there's a trailer there. No way. No way is autonomous a few years, like 10 years, like he said. No way. In 10 years, he'll still be running for president, that guy. Andrew Yang is a guy running for president, for those of you that don't know. And, he wants to pay everybody $1,000 a day. So, there you go. When you were growing up big and tall, I wanted to drive for Willis Shaw. Oh, now I'm short and I run and drive for JBN. That's really good. When I went to truck school, you know who I almost went to was Direct Transit. Remember them, DTI? You know why? Because I thought it was cool they had yellow turn signals on their trailers. So there you go. So maybe people don't check into stuff as much as they should. And they've since closed. Direct Transit. Look at Prime. You'll be thankful for places like Swift. That's really good. You can see a law like that causing millions of truckers with old school mindsets quitting. Yeah, it's going to be, look, you're going to have a whole generational shift to have any kind of vehicle that drives itself, a car, a truck. People that vote are older, and so they're not going to like a car driving around with nobody driving it. It's just not going to happen. Washington won't take the out-of-state CDL paperwork. Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't understand it. Call somebody else. That's usually what I say, because you can call somebody else and get a whole different response just at the DMV. You get the next person at the next window. Really, and that's true. 3 people give you 3 different responses. The police stopped traffic to let the UPS vans out of a terminal the other day. Although I don't agree with that. That's not up to the police. If anything, UPS should have to pay for that. Why do they get, priority service from the police? Meanwhile, I'm over here at the truck stop and I can't get a cop to come out. I don't think so. $200 to $300 a day wages is average in Philly. Believe me, with cost of living, you won't have much left. That's not great. $200 a day, depending where you live, is not a great money. But San Bernardino, $200, no way. Right? Oh, Jeff remembers DTI. Remember how they did that? They had the gray. It seems like they were gray trucks. They were like super nice looking trucks. They came and talked to us at truck school, DTI. Oh, you can go see the country. I almost went over there. Almost. Hillbilly in Philly. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I find it funny that some rest areas say 2-hour parking only, no overnight parking. Yeah, what is with that? I guess they mean just rest and get out. At least that would work when they change the law, which is coming. I keep wanting to do a video, but it seems almost like clickbait, because every time the FMCSA comes out, which has been almost every day, we're almost ready. We're so close. We're just about close to almost ready to saying something. So I don't post anything because they haven't said anything. But every time they talk about it, it's all split sleeper, split sleeper. So at least you'd get a 2-hour and could split your sleeper that way, at least. Now, Direct Transit, I'm much older than I look. I know. I look at my teens, but I'm really my extreme upper 30s. But yeah, Direct Transit came to my truck school. Yep. And I almost went there for the yellow turn signals, which I thought were cool. Arizona is a testing ground for electric trucks and cars. Yeah, because of the weather. They're vandalizing them and cut them off the highway. I saw that. People are getting mad at the cars. Don't worry. This electric truck range in North Dakota is like 40 miles. So I wouldn't be concerned about that taking over anytime soon. Remember Sam Tanksley? No. I do not remember Sam Tanksley. Cement mixers on batteries, garbage trucks, yard dogs, street sweepers. That kind of stuff might work. Maybe not the cement truck, but, we have hybrid buses here. They're diesel electric hybrids, but still. Something around town. But a semi across North Dakota in the wintertime, range, 0, right. Forget it. You see a driver on the left, a truck driver in the left lane, say on the CB, I think the cops are coming, in the left lane, gets them over. Well, I'm surprised it works, considered hardly anybody has a CB anymore. That's what amazes me more, that people, maybe when they get in the left lane, they turn it on. Do that in Indiana, because anywhere in the left lane, they're not allowed out there if it's more than 2 lanes. Juan, hey, what's going on? Great show. Love it. Thank you. Just moved to South Florida from North Carolina. Awesome. And I tell you, it's not a good place for trucking. No, companies don't want to pay a good salary for local jobs. No, go check CCC. Check them out on the web. They are in Florida, and they have some local jobs down there. And it pays not too bad in Florida. But you're right; it's a tough market. It is tough. You can run if you're by the coast. Look at intermodal, which we were just talking about. There should be a lot of jobs for that there. Bowen claims 75 cents for company drivers. Oh, that'd really be something. That must be there must be a ton of bonuses, as I haven't seen that as just a straight job for a solo yet. Or could that be for teams? They don't want truckers to park or sleep. Right. They don't want, you're filthy, get you out of there. We don't want to see drivers. We want to see all the products in the stores. But the drivers, we don't want anything to do with them. They're so nasty. Get them out of there. So they run you out because people don't like to see that. It's just ridiculous. Then we give them all their stuff. Is it the New Democrats that's the problem? I don't know about all that. All right. That's coming up 2020, though. On my channel, drivers in South showed red painted curbs. No red painted curbs. You could park, but others you couldn't park on the interstate. Even on the interstate. Where are we parking on the interstate, and what interstate has a curb on it? You wanted to work for MS Carriers. Oh, you would have been working at Swift. So you'd have been, like we said, everybody's going to work there eventually, and that would have been you as well. You're 61, and you remember all those old companies. So you remember Direct Transit. They used to recruit at the truck schools. They came, CRST came, not many then. There weren't that many recruiting like they are now. A couple of places came. I ended up taking a local job anyway at Economy Transport, but I almost went there. Bernie Sanders want to take the trucks off the road and invest in a rail system. Yeah, I guess if he puts a rail end at every store, he can do that, right? Creed already does the modified split sleeper, including 2 hours and 8. Yes, that's allowed now. Everybody can do that. But what they want to do is you can do any amount, 2 and 8, 3 and 7, 4 and 6, however you want to do it. That's going to be the what it looks like. They're going to be the rule. I can't say it yet because they won't commit to it. Yeah, okay, so you still use a CB. Good. There's not that many people that use it. Everybody should go get a CB and a Blue Parrot headset. Coca-Cola. Oh, yeah, they're in Florida. That's not bad, right? You split sleeper on training. That's good. Everybody can split 2 and 8, right? No problem. WT Fellows is in Florida. All right, and they're hiring. There's another place you can go to. You like it when you run 65 through Indy, nice and early in the morning, and have city cops and troopers running by you. I've clocked them in the 90-mile-an-hour range. It's not on the radar in the truck because it tells you how fast the car's going. I've seen them in 90-ish, absolutely, especially coming back. It's, 1, 2 in the morning. So, that's not the fastest. I've seen people 120 or so from the thing on the radar. We want our crap, but you can't sleep here. Yeah, they don't want to look at you. They just want their stuff because we're all disgusting to the general public. Warren Buffett stated trains and railroads are penniless. Nice. Huh? You work less than 50 hours a week, gross 60,000, drop and hook overtime after 8 every morning. See, that's the way to do it. Here's the thing. You're doing that, and there's a PAM driver somewhere in the country, somewhere out there, under the same bright stars as us, sitting there for 3 days not getting paid anything. And that's disappointing. James remembers Direct Transit. Right? Look, they had some really nice trucks. They almost snagged me to go over there. You have a load of bees in California heading to Georgia? Really? I've never hauled bees. Wow, that'd be kind of scary. Hear anything about Anderson T? No, equals. Are you solo running those bees over there? It doesn't seem right to sit somewhere with 80 billion bees on your trailer. Oh, Builders Transport. Right. Get rid of Steel Horse. Get rid of the Dirty 30. They talked about that for a while, right? But Martinez was all over the press last week. He's the head of the FMCSA. He's out. Oh, we're close. We're almost close to ready to just about making a decision. And all he says, the split sleeper, the split sleeper, the sleeper. That's what he keeps talking about. So whether they do anything else, I don't know. I don't want to put a video. They haven't done anything yet. So I'm hoping for an announcement soon, but I don't know when that's going to be. Maybe at the truck show, but he hasn't even said he's going to be there. that would put the country in a bankruptcy, the rail system. Oh, you couldn't build. It can't just be rails. How do you deliver to every store? Is the 7-Eleven going to get their Slurpee sacks on a rail system? I don't think so. You still listen to your local scanner in your house? Yeah, that's good too, right? I love listening to scanner. Do truckers still keep radar? You mean like fuzzbusters, that kind of thing? Those are illegal. Probably some drivers still use them. Decided to leave KLM and go flatbed. Gonna rag you when you see what company, TMC. 12 years military, all that micromanagement won't be anything. Yeah, if you can take it, the pay there is pretty good, when they, at least what they have posted in that. My problem with them is just, the micromanaging. But they say on their website, if you're prior military, and you like that kind of structure, they talk about structure, then you'll do really good here. So if that's something you like and flourish in, you'll probably do great there. They're going to put your name on a truck and all that kind of stuff. It may work great for you. The pay's going to be good. I couldn't tolerate the treatment. They kind of have, not as bad really, but like K&B. The pay at K&B is not bad. 50 cents to start, $12.50 guarantee. I mean, you start out over 60 grand guarantee. I just can't take the treatment. I just wouldn't be able to take it. Oh, pennies a mile for Pam. That's good. Martin has a terminal in Tampa. That would be another good choice. Disgusting. Look, Jeremiah, that's what they think. They don't want the general public going in these nice rest areas and then seeing all these dirty truck drivers that are peeing in their DEF tanks and everything. They don't want to see that. Just bought a new CB. Not much talking going on. No, it's a lot of stupid stuff. I will say that. Okay, so you're teaming those bees. I wondered if bees are allowed to stop, because when they get hot in there or whatever, you're going to make PTI mad? Put the machete down? Yes. Look, I can't make DTI mad, certainly, because they're not around. Oh, Cassius King went to truck school, work for Pam. And on the last day of school, they said they wouldn't hire you. Why wouldn't they hire you? I'm curious about that. The DOT doesn't inspect the B truck. Oh, I never thought about that. You want pull it around? Oh, bees. Oh, okay, you're fine. That's a good way to get out of inspections, isn't it? What are they going to? Oh, you'll need to check. We need to check for your securement. No way. Consolidated Freightways. Yeah, that was 91, I think, when they closed. The bees will bring them to their knees. That's good. That's really good. It should send a message on the bypass thing. Caution, bee truck ahead. Has anyone heard of biofuel? Certainly. I think it'll be a thing that replaces oil. It's made from algae. You can buy it by the gallon. Don't have to wait for the batteries to charge. Yeah, that's another good solution, right? I ran a different kind of biofuel, right? Corn biofuel out of Willie's before. What doesn't Canada and the USA understand with our truckers that everything would stop? Because they don't care. They don't understand. No one teaches anybody that, they think the stores just fill up magically overnight. That the people fill in the store, they just got their stuff magically. People don't understand how the stuff gets to their store. Maybe that should be taught in school instead of how to memorize what happened between 1621 and 1623. I mean, that'd be a lot more useful. Thomas, see you in Louisville. End of the month when we'll be there. Get a grip. Yeah, come on down. Thanks for being here, and absolutely come up and say hi. I'm waiting to see everybody there. I'll be live much of it, so you can all get on to Louisville. Be live on the show. If you have a channel, we'll get your channel out there. Whatever you want to do. Absolutely right. Micromanagement K&B was too much for you. Right. They have 1,000 times more videos about it than anybody else. So it's really, really bad there. When they have the police come and wake you up at a truck stop to get you going as a welfare check, but then they actually are waking you up to get you on the road. That's ridiculous. Imagine how California will hurt Western distribution. Yeah. What are they going to do? Those guys going to run, they'll have to give them even more lights to put on their trucks over at Western. Read the article about the auto truck. Yeah, a man still sitting at driver's seat and engine in the other seat monitoring the whole time. Yeah, that's right. Somebody has to sit there still. Even though the truck may drive itself the whole way, they're not allowed to not have somebody in the truck yet. They've been designing algae biofuel for 10 years. What's the cost on that a gallon right now? You seem to know some about it. What would be a gallon cost at the moment for that? And not the bees. Got your tickets to the truck show? All right. We'll see you down there. Right. They mailed me the tickets too. I have my tickets. And the vice president in charge of napping is not going to come, but the rest of the crew will be down there. I hope to see everybody there. If you got a truck brought it, that used to be on the back of trailers. They should put them back on there, really. Can't wait to see the 3 bunker. Oh, do you think they'll have one down there that we can look at? Oh, I wish they would show one there. You know, they don't seem to advertise that. I've never seen it in their ads or anything. 2 days of no moving would cripple the country. It would, but it wouldn't. It's never going to happen. You see guys not dressed like slobs and get embarrassed for the guys who look more presentable. We are more professional like that. Part of it is our own problem. Let's be honest about it. You can't come into a place with a dirty white tank top, as called a wife beater, and flip-flops, you know, and you haven't shaved in 6 days and taken a shower and then be treated like a professional. It doesn't work that way. Either grow a beard or shave it off and go take a shower. CF closed on 2002. All right, on Labor Day, of all things, ironically. Democrats requiring all citizens to have Amazon Prime. Lower emissions. Yeah, it's still got to get to the warehouse somewhere, right? They called the police for what? They called the police for welfare check. Yes, there's tons of videos about it at K&B where people have posted they're sleeping or whatever, and the police come and knock on their door and say, your company called and they wanted us to do a welfare check because they haven't heard from you. And why is that? To wake you up, to get you to drive. Go watch the videos. There's plenty of people have posted that kind of thing about K&B. So whether they do it today, well, these videos are not that old. So yeah, check that out. The cops, they send the cops to check, do a welfare check. And that wakes you up, and then they know you got to go driving. Let's see. I went to Swift driving school in Millington. They were shut down by the government. They were doing some shenanigans, right? So informed your license wasn't good and had to retest and rent a truck. Yeah, the Millington one at Swift, which has been some years now, they had some shenanigans and weren't testing people properly and stuff, and so they shut that place down. That's true. The Democrat New Deal wants to ban gas-powered cars and switch to fully electric by a certain year. That'll be a long time coming. A long time. Because they're twice as much money, even though we have a Tesla driver on here, I know. I gripe at him all the time about it, but they're more money and don't go as far. So still waiting for the electric car. Would race from Indianapolis to Kansas City and back in my Chevy Sonic. Any electric car, only one rule, you must follow the speed limit. That's it. First one back wins. Easy. Am I going to rub shoulders with big wigs? If there's big wigs down there, I may rub up against them, although they may not know it as I'm rubbing. But otherwise, that'll be the only big wig rubbing that'll be being done down there. That was 3 years later. Okay. Oh, was it that long ago, really? They'll do one better and make a 4-bunk truck. They don't need more than 3. People have said that, but 3 is 24 hours a day of driving, right? Although I guess they could get more students in that way. The 3 students could rotate around and 1 person in the bunk all the time. They wouldn't hire you because they said you couldn't verify your employer. Oh, that was back in the Middle Ages. Yeah. You know, that's the thing with these companies. And somebody wrote to me today as well and said that, you know, after they were at a place, then they got fired and didn't get away home. Companies should be required to send you home if they bring you in and then don't hire you for whatever reason. They're not required to now. It's disappointing. They should be required to, but you did dodge a bullet at Prime. And look, Prime, and they're not the only one doing this. All of this should be verified before you show up so that everything is good to go. And this is Prime. Pam is not the only place doing that. You saw a picture of the 3-bunk trunk. The bunk is above the driver and passenger seat. Yeah, you can check out. There's several trainers that have put videos about these trucks up. Go check them out online. It's really incredible. The whole truck, they take a bunch of storage out and add a bunk above the driver. Biofuel is 20 to 30 cents more than diesel. So, and it has less energy per cubic volume, the same cubic volume. So that's a real problem. So really we're 50 to 80 cents more cost, actual cost per gallon because of the less energy, the BTU energy per gallon of fuel. To have 2 to 3 people in a sleeper gives you creeps. How can you trust your life to someone you don't know? I don't know how people do it. You know, I don't know how they do it. I don't think any training should be done with this trainer sleeping. That's not training. Shouldn't be two trainees, and the trainer ought to have to be up and logging on duty the whole time the trainee drives. Period. That's training. You can't train somebody if you're asleep. I could do that from here. Werner and Roadmaster is out in Millington. I wonder if they bought it from Swift. Yeah, they might have. Because from what I remember, it was at a separate building close by. So yeah, maybe. Oh, you went there in 04, right. Oh, the flip-flop thing drives you crazy? I don't get it. Put some shoes on, people. Stopped working at K&B just in December. And yes, company driver first, truck stop second, police last. Oh, I didn't realize that. So they'll send a message to another driver. Nice. To get you to call dispatch at 10:01 on your off-duty or sleeper clock. Right. As soon as your time's up, they want you rolling the truck. And whatever they have to do to get you up, they'll do it. And that's the kind of thing, you know, that aggravates me. Because it might be a good place otherwise. The pay's pretty good. $12.50 guarantees, not bad. But this kind of thing, it's not worth the money. Super sleeper training, yeah, just pack them in there. 8 bunks, kitchen and bath. They could run an extended sleeper and put more beds, but the problem is nobody could back it in as it is. The trainers, they only need 9 months of experience or something like that, so they're never going to be able to back in some 140-inch sleeper truck. Big oil tanker fire in LaPorte, Texas. 7 tankers and 40 fire trucks. Oh, seen on the news. Yikes. Hope everybody gets out of that all right. Feel like someone wants to drive an electric truck, that's fine, but don't force it. Exactly. That should be the way of everything. If you want a Tesla and you want to drive it around, be my guest, right? But for me, not going to happen until I can get a 500-mile range and recharge the thing in probably 3 minutes or less to full, then I'm in. Same as a car. Until then, no, I'll just drive my car around. And plus, it has to work in the cold. When it's 23 below zero here, which is what we saw last winter, what's the range on a Tesla then? Half, 100 some miles, forget it. And people said, well, your car doesn't go as far either. I know, but I can get gas anywhere and fill up in 2 minutes. What happens if the driver hits a low bridge in a 3-bunk truck? It becomes a 2-bunk truck. And all that happens is the trainer sends a macro. There's probably a bridge macro. Another trainee died. We hit a bridge. Send me another trainee. And there's probably one waiting in a truck stop somewhere that's been booted off somebody else's truck, and just pick him up and tell him he doesn't get a bed until you change trucks. And that's a sunroof now. You like the professional look of sandals that all the drivers seem to wear? Yeah, some of them, you know, the funny thing is, some of them are name brand. I see logos on them. I'm like, those are $50 sandals. Go buy a pair of shoes. I mean, what the, we're going to rock out Nike sandals for $50? Come on. Inward-facing cameras should be used to ensure trainers are not asleep. That's it. Maybe in a trainer truck, they could have the inward-facing camera to ensure the trainer is up. That might be the best use of it. By the way, the dash cam I reviewed today, it has an inward-facing camera as well. And I thought a good use of that inward-facing camera on a dash cam that you own, because you could turn it on or off. It's up to you. If you're talking to a cop at the window, you can turn on the inward-facing camera. So there's no question about what went on. So it's out and in, and you could then turn that one off. That's a really good idea. It was also good for like Uber, and that's how they market it, because you can do the inside of your car, but you can also videotape a cop or somebody, maybe the cop wants to come in your truck. You can tape all that stuff. A great idea. How is Crying England's safety record with all these new drivers? Probably not great. Seems odd to have more than the trainer with you. Need to limit distractions. I totally agree. But they have so many people, they don't know what to do with themselves. So they got to build more bunks, even though it's impossible to get drivers, all these companies say. But their record is poor, probably, because the training is not great. In 9 months, you can be a trainer, although some of them, I'm sure, have experience. And their whole goal is just to get people in trucks, not to train them how to drive or do anything like that. Way to waste the police time, unless it's been over 15 hours. Steel horse. Look, I agree. I don't know why it's not illegal. Why one of these cops need to say, hey, you know, they're going to call one a couple times, and they're like, no way. One of the drivers needs to tell that cop that they do this all the time and they're wasting your time. Somebody at K&B should be prosecuted for that. It should be misuse of police resources. Absolutely. Are new regulations for trainers coming next year? They're talking about making people have experience. Believe me, ATA and that is going to fight that tooth and nail. England wouldn't have any trainers, as somebody posted here. If they needed 2 years of experience, how many trainers would be left in England? Probably 4 of them. The rest of them are all 9-month, people. There's no way to do it. Why don't they make 20-speed transmissions? Oh my gosh, I had an 18-speed, which is enough shifting for me. Holy mackerel. 13, I think, is perfect, unless you're doing heavy haul or something. I found the 13-speed to be perfect, really. Because splitting those upper gears for climbing and stuff is great. Electric trucks will be for local trucking. That's who's buying them now, right? UPS has some on order. I saw Walmart is ordering some. But it's going to be like Walmart said, it's going to be for a 200-mile out and back. It'll be for routes where they know how far it is, because you can't charge the thing up. A 2-bunk truck. Yeah, it's now a 2-bunk truck. Something is wrong with the industry when drivers are mad that dispatchers feel they need to hire armed security guards. If you go in and your dispatch office is locked up tight like a fort, okay, that place is probably not a great place to work. Cowboys started wearing tennis shoes so they would not be confused as truck drivers. Ha ha ha, that's really good. I don't mind driving in Longhorn shorts and a t-shirt. Before you get it, you got a suit and boot. Look, I don't mind people driving in a t-shirt or whatever. That's fine with me. Look, no open armpits, men. Come on. Put some sleeves on. Nobody wants to see that. And you need to wear some shoes, closed-toed shoes. Does nobody know what goes on these fuel islands and walking around and stuff? Who'd want to walk around out there anyway? Come on. And socks or no socks in a sandal. Look, nobody wants to see that gigantic toe you've got with that big yellow nail that clicks on the ground like a German Shepherd walking in. Nobody wants to see that, okay? Wrap that thing up in a shoe. You wear sandals, driving shoes at shipper and receiver. If you're in the truck, I don't care what you wear, all right? When you get out of the truck, this is where the public sees you. This is where you're professional. Wear something professional. Shoes, that's all. If you have a private dash cam, I don't think you're required to share the footage with cops. No, it's yours. You own it. Anything that is yours is yours. They could subpoena the information. But the idea of having a private dash cam partly also is so you go in an intersection that's green and somebody hits you. And when the cop comes, they don't know what the light was. So bingo, you can show them, oh, look right here. I can pull it right here. If it's the footage from the company, you don't have that access to that right there. You can say, look here, that my light was green. Right on the spot, you can control that. And the same from the cop at the window or whatever, if they pull you over. Say they pull you over for going through a light. You go, no, I have footage right here. It's green. It's just a big help. And it's your footage. You own it. You can do whatever you want with it right away. Max is going to get, James drove an 18-speed for years. I think that's too much on the road. Because a lot of the gears we're not using. I found the 13 to be the best, right? So I've decided to get CDL. Which company would be good to get a CDL with? Prime and Swift. Of those two, I go with Swift because no contract and no non-compete at Swift. You can go work somewhere else if it turns out you don't like it. Prime has a 2-year non-compete contract, and I don't like that at all. What about Knight? If you're looking at Swift, I'd consider Knight as well because they pay you sooner. And call Maverick. Okay, give Maverick a call and talk to them and see what they have to say. The bigger crime is undertrained drivers driving among local four-wheelers, accidents and deaths. People don't realize these companies, of course, they don't care, I guess. Mistake, the bunch of people die. But the trainers, 9 months, that's ridiculous. Training needs to focus more on sitting activities. Really should include how to sleep and expect dock work not to wake up drivers when loaded. Well, that would be nice if you could tell them don't come and get me until a certain time, but they don't seem to care because they want you off the property, right? On 11 hours, I made it from Harrisburg to Chicago in 700 miles. Nice. I was impressed with yourself with a truck that runs 65. You maximized your time over there, that's for sure. I mean, that's a good day at 65 miles an hour. That is an excellent day. And probably made yourself some good money that day. The ATA has to be stupid if they think it's a bad idea to have better trained drivers. The ATA represents large trucking companies that are their members. And so they're really basically representing the thoughts of their members. England and a lot of these companies, even better companies, they don't have trainers, a lot of them, with a lot of experience. Because it's a tough go of it, right? And a lot of people are just in it for the money. And so they're not good trainers. It's tough to find somebody who's got experience, who wants to do it and doesn't just want the money, so they're not just making you drive. I mean, there's not that many drivers like that. So England, and that they wouldn't be able to train people, and then where would they get drivers? No experienced driver is going to go there. Do you think they get a ton of calls at England or Pam from people? Oh, I've been driving 15 years and I heard you're a great place. That call never happens. So they know their only shot at getting people is new people. So they need trainers for them. When that changes, they are going to go out of business, hopefully. Light Bright, hey, what's going on? Thank you very much. It's good to see you. I appreciate you coming in today. You wear Crocs and you're unashamed about it? I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, you won't find me wearing Crocs, on or off duty, certainly. But, you know, you have non-skid Crocs, I guess. They're edible, by the way, just so you know. I just watched the 3-bunk truck. Don't people realize how dangerous it is riding in the top bunk? No. They don't care, and their straps up there. So I guess if you hit the brakes hard, you wouldn't come out, unlike the guy in the bottom bunk, right, or at the top bunk. So if you ride in the bunk up here and face backwards, maybe it's more safe. I'd be concerned it would fall out and you'd get dumped down on the person in the bottom bunk, but, you know, what happens beyond that is, hey, it's 2019, right? John loves Crocs. Hey, if you love your Crocs, I mean, keep in mind, they're edible. That's all I can say about it. Is dressing up like a cowboy with cowboy boots good? Or is that unprofessional? Well, if you go to the store and buy a bunch of new clothes, you'll look like a tourist. That's what I think. You're going to need to wear them now so that when you're older and get in trucking, they look like you've been wearing them for a while. So you don't look like a tourist that just blasted out of Dallas. The HOS should be like the railroads, 12, 8-hour break, and 70-hour no 70-hour limit. That's not bad either. You know, any less work I'm in for. Have a big memory card for the dash cam will show 8 hours of safe, courteous driving. I agree. The one I showed today on my video will take up to 128 gig card, so that's pretty good. I had an 8 gig in it because it was just laying around. I've since bought a bigger card for it. I don't think any small company in your area will be running Teslas because most of them are right. And look, it's going to be large companies running Tesla semis to start with. They're very expensive. So it's going to be a while before a small company, those filter down. Why does the public view truckers as a menace? How did this image come about? From one accident. One driver has an accident. That's plastered all over the news, right? But one car has an accident. You never hear about it. And so all they see are truck accidents, even though millions of drivers every day drive safely. They see one accident. Oh, all these drivers are horrible. And one guy, it's usually a guy, comes into the truck stop with this old white tank top on that, you know, he's been wearing for 7 days, and the family's in there, and they're like, what the heck? So, I mean, just that kind of thing, it takes forever to take them to see 30 more drivers that are being professional before they get that guy out of their mind or out of their nostrils. You'll send me the podcast from your company talking with the student trainer. Oh, great. Right. Yeah. Send me a link to that podcast. If they have a podcast, I'll go look it up and download it. And my podcast should be out later this week, as I said earlier. Your trucking companies run Pete 379s. That's a big truck to run locally. Crocs are women's footwear. You guys wear Crocs in a truck stop bathroom. That's what I'm saying. Look, you know, open-toed in the bathroom. I mean, come on. I'm 52, and is 52 too old to get into trucking? No, absolutely not. They need drivers, and you will find a place in trucking, right? So if that's something you want to do, and, you know, you could pass the physical. That's what I ask everybody. Can you pass a physical? And it isn't a tough physical, okay? So if your blood pressure is reasonable and you can still see without a cane, you know, that kind of thing, you can pass a physical, and you can get a job driving. And you don't have a bunch of felonies or 16 car accidents. You're in. You'd hate to be the trainee in the third bunk when a driver runs under a low bridge. Well, you know, just think of it this way. It's a new experience for you. The ATA should be included in the Swift lawsuit. Yeah, they can't sue them as a, they're just an organization of other companies, you know, so they don't have anything to do with it. Joshua, right, exactly. Need to put a captain's chair in the middle for the trainer, like Captain Kirk. Oh, and have the two sit there. Yeah, but navigation was on the right, though, to his right, was navigation. So we need to do it in Europe, I guess, right? Because Sulu over here, navigator, exactly. When did the hours of service change? Because I believe under the Bush administration, a while ago, they've changed it's been this way for some number of years. It was different. We had 15 hours, could stop your clock by going into sleeper, no 30-minute break. Any driver that wears Crocs is a serial killer. Well, I mean, I don't know what to say about Crocs. And I agree with Steel Horse 100%. I mean, the bathroom, any open-toed shoe or any kind of shoe like that in the bathroom, I don't know about that. You can be a bag of bones and drive a truck. You don't have to be in great shape, okay? You have to pass a few things. But I always ask people, you know, if they got some kind of tough physical thing, they might not be able to do it. But I think bull haulers should look the part and wear cowboy boots. They need them. Nobody out here would wear Crocs hauling bulls around. Last year, you got a $600 ticket for being in the left lane just to pass in Gary, right? TVC got it down to a defective component, right? So use the law firm, good. But as we know, Kenneth, no third lane, because I-94 up there is 3 lanes. You're in the far left lane. It's not allowed at any time unless the other lanes are blocked or there's some kind of construction. You can't pass up there. And I'm glad they got it down. And that was absolutely the right thing to do. How much did that cost at TVC? And I don't think it was not worth it. I just wonder if it cost anything. Use your Crocs like house shoes. Are you going somewhere and put my boots on to seem more professional? Yeah, and I think, you mean, the bathroom thing, just walking around in Crocs, I mean, because of the stories on Dateline Investigative Discovery. Oh, that's good, too. You know, 1 hour show, and bingo, we're done. Truckers can't park like they used to because they leave trash and the bottles in the lot. I agree. That blocks you out of a lot of places. I mean, honestly, say you have a store that you let people park, and then every day the people that you hire go out there and have to pick up 40 bottles. I mean, like, forget it. Nobody wants to do that. You wouldn't want to send your kid or your wife works there or you work there and pick all that stuff up. You can't hardly blame them, really. You were boots inside the bull rack. You Croc and sandal wearers need to come on over. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Trucker Hershey got into trucking at 57. So you're doing good, right? You got in, no problem, pass physical. Really, if you can pass the physical and don't have 40 felonies, you can do it. It's Obama's fault. Well, we'll bring him up out of the back of nowhere. Oh, the Cylons will be watching you too. It's not just one wreck. It's unprofessional conduct in all aspects of trucking by drivers. We have a long way to go to fix the reputation we're getting. Most drivers are safe. We're the safest people on the road. Almost everybody is safe. But a few people always bring it down for everybody. Car drivers are the majority of the reason we have accidents, certainly. Ted Bundy is good trucker material. Yeah, not anymore, right? Don't some big companies have in-house medical exams? Yeah, they usually send you to their doctor or they bring a doctor there. Yeah. And they sometimes do a physical capacities test. So a lot of flatbed companies, but other companies too. Can you lift a 50-pound crate to chest high and put it on a shelf? Can you carry a crate, 50 pounds, 10 feet, that kind of thing? And then they measure your heart rate. There are different things that they do because that's not part of a DOT physical. So they can do basically whatever they want as that part of it, as long as they apply it to everyone equally. Went in on a generation from Sonny Pruitt to sing Prince in one generation. Kind of, right. You'll always wear a cowboy hat and boots. All right, at least you'll look better than people in a white tank top. Holy mackerel. It's not the physical, it's the other BS in trucking. That's the other parts that are bad, but this is the part that you need to pass just to get into trucking. Certainly. Then we can worry about getting a good job where you're going to get paid for your time. And you should have all that down in advance. This is for the drivers that wear sandals and Crocs. Make sure you walk around those puddles in the truck stop. Some puddles aren't water. Let's put it that way. Some dirt isn't dirt. You're dressed exactly like Bandit from Smoking the Bandit. That'd be great. You grow a mustache like that, I'm putting your picture out on here. You go barefoot in the showers. You live a life on the edge. You wear your Crocs in the shower at the truck stop. That would be better than going barefoot. And they get clean, too. You had a trucker, Ted Bundy type. He killed a bunch of people in Nashville. There have been some truck drivers like that. I mean, it's the perfect job to do that, right? Because you move around. Nobody knows where you are. So Yeah, there'd be bad in everything, right? She had to pay 250 instead of the 600 for that ticket. That it would have been worth 600, I think, because you didn't get the third lane CSA point problem that you would have had. So that's pretty good. But you got the fine down also. That's well worth having a legal plan. And so you probably didn't have to do anything more, right? You just gave them the money and they handled everything. Also, too many steering wheel holders in the industry. There's a lot of people that don't care. They're just in it for a job. Wear steel-toed shoes on customers' property. You also wear neon yellow or vest and black shorts in hot weather. You should have a vest with you. You should probably have a hard hat with you, depending what you do. Steel-toed. We're required to wear them here, so I have them. They buy me a pair of them every year. They actually give you a coupon for up to $150 for them, but so that's what we have to do here every year. The old hours of service sound better. You got to work a little more. Cops look at the trucker first before the four-wheeler, but that's where your dash cam comes in handy. You can prove your innocence or one of these legal firms. Okay, you got Red Wings, yeah, with no laces. Oh, Red Wing slip-ons. Any good CB shops in the country anymore? I don't know. You don't hear much about them. Would think they would have any near at a truck stop. There should probably be a few left because there's not many. So the ones that are left should still be able to do a good job. No, Western wants you. I'm watching. Are you watching from jail? Right. The general public sees truckers as serial killer, coffee drinking rednecks. That'd be a good name of a band. Serial killer, coffee drinking rednecks. I love it. TVC is worth the $50 a month, so 600 plus 250. Yeah, but look at what it saved you. I've always, said that, and I did even a video about the legal plans. Worth it. One saves you one ticket. A big ticket can cost you your career. Truckers' feet are one of many things that should be regulated in the industry. No sandals or Crocs while on duty. I wish they could do that. At least closed-toed. CVS does DOT physicals, but didn't like the experience there. Which one is doing that, and why didn't you like it? And curiously, how much is it? Loves cleans their showers good. Look, I'm not chancing that they clean them, that they bleach them every day. I think that's a huge chance. Next day, your feet are going to fall off or something. I think that's too risky. CB antenna angle of 45 degrees kills the signal. And base law antennas don't work on fiberglass bodies. Best antenna is a fire stick, mounted straight up. I guess if you're really into CBs, for talking all the time, that stuff matters. I'm just rocking the antennas that came on the truck with the cord that came through the thing. What is the best company for husband and wife team to train with and work for? I would team maybe at FedEx. They seem to have a lot of miles and pay really, really good if you want to really roll some team miles. Bar None also has a really good team deal. Close to 70 cents at Bar None. That wouldn't be a bad idea to call them too. Hey, the weather here is nice today, 40 degrees. The vice president in charge of napping is laying in the sun. It's a beautiful sunny day here, although we had some snow yesterday morning. The Radio Shack in New Holland fixes and installs CBs. I thought they went bankrupt. Did somebody buy a Radio Shack store or something? Walcott Radio. Oh, at Walcott, across from the Iowa 80. That might be a place. The doctor's fingers were too big. I don't know if I want to ask any more about that. About CVS, I don't know what they were doing there. I thought it was a DOT physical. Since you started intermodal, you were steel-toed. But if you're still over the road, it would be Crocs. Yeah. The steel toes, is that in case a container falls on your feet too, I guess? But no, seriously, I mean Crocs? Really? I didn't know there were that many people that still wore Crocs. Oh, there's a CB guy in Wells, Nevada. Oh, on I-80. All right, he has a truck sitting there ready to help. He should be out broadcasting. They used to always broadcast that on the radio. Oh, CB shop, The thing is, what are you doing to the CB where you need the shop to do anything? That's the question. Except for the Echo, right, maybe that. Maybe we need to install that. Has anyone seen a cat safety hat and vest pack? You bought it at the TA truck stop, and it's a comfy hat. No, I haven't seen that in there. It's not a bad idea. So a safety hat. So would that qualify as a hard hat at places where you walk in? Remember when we thought change it? Forever changes. Every few years, they're always moving something around. You don't have to have 40 million license plates on your truck anymore. Remember that. Are there really any good companies for to hire new people? Yeah. You have a company, I can go, but need 2 years experience. There's plenty of places that hire without experience. I mean, if you want to be, if you want to be home, there's that. And if you want to be gone, call, I always tell people call Maverick to get started. But if you want to be home, I would call Yellow or Holland in your area and see what they're up to, ABF. They will take students at those places. Hogan, they're home every day, they'll take you. What about Millis? Check out Millis, right? Even Swift, no contract. Crete would be another one you could call. They'll take students. The Petroing area has a CB shop. Don't know if they all do. I don't think they all do anymore. What's the word on Crete? Yeah, Crete, absolutely. Crete Schaefer, head over there. I'm lucky if your stock attendant picks up at the truck stop. They're not great, but I'm not using it to talk on all the time. It's Radio Shack New Holland. That's really something. I didn't know they had any more Radio Shacks. I am also in Indiana, Lafayette, Indiana. Absolutely. I remember the bingo cards and 9 license plates. You had the stickers you had to put on every year. Everyone expired at a different time. Certainly. First trucks I had bingo cards on them. What's a good paying company for 6 months out of Dallas? Oh, Millis is right there, right? What's your opinion on the oil field? I don't know. Everybody in the last 2 weeks on YouTube besides me went to work in the oil field, apparently, from what I've seen. So I've always known, and we have some oil field drivers on here that do really, really well. So if you can get down there, I mean, there's money to be made in the oil fields. If you're willing to work, it's not regular trucking. You're actually going to have to do work there. But I have plenty of people writing me and sending me their checks, $2,000, $2,200 to them a week. So absolutely, if that's something you want to do and make some money, yes. If someone claims to peak and tune, they'll ruin your radio. If you don't change the finals, you're wasting money. Yikes. After all that, might just get a ham radio. Don't wear in the shower at the truck stop. Well, I thought after you took them in the shower, they'd be clean and kind of warmed up. That's what I actually was thinking. If you showered, they'd be warm. I'll go back to deregulated. No way. No way. And then the government sets your pay. Oh, you're unloaded in the dock an hour. That's pretty good. So now we're ready to roll. Where are we going now? Bought a Cobra 29 LTD Classic, the radio of trucking, certainly. That's what I have, a 29 LTD with, I actually have a 29 night watch with the night vision or whatever where it turns the lights on and the weather band. That's night watch, right. Looking for a company that will train your wife with you. I don't know if they'll train her with you. Sometimes you can go and if you want to train her, you have to go through a thing on that. Mark, me a tractor trailer driver is a skilled trade. It is. The government doesn't think so, but I do. But to be a skilled tradesman, that's interesting. Would you have an electrician at your house that came in an old dirty tank top and flip flops and then showered in 5 days? And then he goes, it's $80 an hour. No. Okay. Same thing. It's same thing. You need to be a Purdue fan. I stay away from Purdue in all sports. I don't really like team activities like that because I don't think that you succeed in life as a team. You succeed in life as an individual. So that's always been my philosophy. So I never involved in team sports. Everything I did was, myself, like tennis, where I'm doing it myself or something like that. It was a kid. It's not like I go to Wimbledon or anything now. Indiana, Ohio state line on I-70, the TA. I didn't know there were that many CB shops left. Brian Buckeye, thank you very much. I appreciate that today. You just deadheaded 300 miles for a load. They do not want us sitting around waiting. That's good. They should, rather than sit you there, they should send you somewhere to go get a load, and presumably, right, you get paid for the same for all miles, which is like 95% of companies. So absolutely. And that's really good of them. Keep you moving, get the load. Then they make money too. That's what I don't understand about companies. They don't make any money when you sit there for 3 days. So how does Pam, justify sitting people for days? They don't make money either. That doesn't make any sense. Deadhead to Oregon, then to Missouri. That'd be a long deadhead. Oh, you're just going Oregon, then a load to Missouri. That's a better load. I'm thinking, man, that is a long deadhead. All the CVSs do DOT physicals. Really? Not mine. I go to CVS here. They don't have one here. Was 100 that? Okay, that's more than I thought it'd be. You waited an extra 90 minutes. It was forever. That's why you didn't like it. Really? This one, I don't think this one. Next time I go in there, I'll ask him. But I don't think that, I don't think mine does it. I'll ask him, though. A lot of truck drivers out here wear Crocs and shorts and wife beaters, 20 degrees. I don't understand it. I never understood it. These are the same people that are going to be slow rolling in April, griping that they're not treated like professionals. And they're going to get out of their truck with, flip-flops and a tank top that has been washed sometime last year. You can't believe you saw Cascadia with wheel spinners? That'd be really impressive. Is there a picture of that floating around you could send in? Boy. Remember when everyone drove cool trucks? Hey, that's every day. The truck is cool if I'm in it with the windows up in the summer and I'm cool. That's what makes the truck cool. I want to be cool. Big Red Patriot is a proud flip-flop wearer. In the truck, fine. Out of the truck, put on some shoes. There's no I in team, but there is me. Exactly. That's exactly correct. That's what I've always felt about team sports, any team sport. In life, if you're going to be successful, it's individually. Companies always say, oh, you're part of the team or whatever, but like at Microsoft, Bill Gates, they don't all work together. Everybody works for him. Okay, so, and it's like that at every place. The CEO is not part of the team. We're all working for them. They're not teammates with us. So that's at every company, trucking and everything else. So Purdue, sports, football, and that never followed it because you can be the greatest person on the team and the team loses and you lose. You get a loss. That's not fair to you. And it can be the reverse. You stink. If the team carries you, you get a win. You don't deserve it. I don't like it. Just don't like it. Socks and sandals. Oh, I don't know. Black socks with those little things that hold them up. Pam, it's horrible. Agree. Stay away from FFE. Yeah, probably. The ladies broadcast on the Atlanta Petro, so they have a CB. They have a better CB probably than a lot of drivers do. Brian, thank you for coming in, and we'll see you next Monday at 1 p.m. I'm out here at 1 p.m. every Monday. No, CQ, nice. Very good. I hear that sometimes, right? You kind of like the multiple license plate look. Sometimes you'll see an antique truck that's got all the plates that we used to have hanging off of the front of the thing with the sticker card, the bingo card, and all the 7 plates. But it was annoying trying to keep track of it all, so I was glad that changed. It's only the CVS that have the minute clinic. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have a clinic. I'm thinking, where would they do the physical? Just right there in the bandage aisle or, in the suppository aisle? I don't know where they would do it. And depending on the aisle, you may not want to have it done, right? If you're on the road, say 30 days or more, when can you do wash or hygiene? If you're on the road 30 days, you should be out getting a 34-hour break. During that time, they should be running you, and you would do laundry during that time. And a hygiene, meaning a shower every day. 5 a week at least, preferably 7. I mean, you got to stop. That's number one. You got to take care of yourself, right? Don't walk around dirty. You would feel gross, and you wouldn't want somebody coming in your office that way. Go take a shower. You'll be very refreshed. You get 10 hours off every day. Take a shower. That's what I hear the most. Oh, I can't sleep 10 hours. Well, good. Go in and get a shower. Some of the glider kit trucks look like armored cars. What's with the 500 wheelbase trying to park a reefer? Yeah. People stretch their truck, and then they can't park. And they're like, oh, I just had this happen the other day. You bring this up. I'm waiting to park, come around the corner, and there's some Kenworth, with a gigantic sleeper pulling up, back up, pull up, back up, trying to back in. I got to wait and wait. I'm like, why would you buy this truck? I mean, is the ride worth 20 minutes of backing up? I finally backed around and went around the other way to my spot and backed in. And I was in before they got back in their spot because because it's close. So he had an inch. It just didn't seem like it would make any sense to me. The truck is a piece of business equipment. So you should try to get one that we can do your job the most efficiently. It had to be, 10 or 15 feet longer than my truck. Was gigantic. It didn't make sense. How to avoid. I should do a video about how to avoid people that work at the truck stop. I don't know about that. I guess I could do that. I don't know. Some people may not like that. They may not want that kind of information. If you're over 50 and don't mow the lawn off-duty in public with black knee-high socks with white sneakers, indication, yes. The black socks are with the little things that hold these socks up. You probably still get the newspaper. and never heard of the internet. Don't hate on stretch trucks. I'm not hating on them. I'm saying that it took them a long time to back in, which is annoying to me because I have work to do too. And it's probably annoying to them trying to back in, and it doesn't make any sense. He's wasting time. He's not getting paid extra money to back in, so it would just waste time. That's all ELD time that it takes to back in. If he likes it, I mean, it's okay with me if you can afford it, but it's annoying to me. Back the thing in and get out of there. Steel Horse hasn't seen one in years. I agree. I don't know where they went. Probably on some kind of internet site, but I agree. You don't see them walking around anymore, which is good, because then the truck stop is much better. You're just joking, but all Volvo's drivers don't understand it's a joke. Oh, look, Volvos, look. I like them. I think they ride good. Chris is 2 hours late, and Steel Horse is on the ball with the demerits. 2 hours late. What's happening today? Chris, what's going on? Hopefully you were working, but you should, if you put in a request to your company, they give you this time off, just so you know. JB Hunt for containers, you quit. Okay, it's $22.50 per load plus 30. I thought it was some kind of deal like that. 30. I thought it was some kind of deal like that. No pay for an empty. Oh, nice. So you get paid $22.50 for loaded. Then they have exceptions, not paid for everything. When it's the more complicated a pay structure is, the less you usually make because it's harder to figure out. It doesn't make any sense. When they have 40 million different ways to pay you, you're probably not going to only get one of them. So that I don't like that. And there should be paid for an empty. Why don't you get paid for an empty one? You're still driving. And is that every city? That's interesting for the JB Hunt. Is that every city? They do intermodal in different cities. Easiest way to make money, and you're 34, I don't know about this, charge to teach drivers to properly back up in several situations. Well, would people pay you for that? Maybe. Oh, Chris had a doctor's appointment? All right, with a note, we'll allow it. You got to have the fancy stretch frame lights. Yeah, it didn't have as many lights as I thought it would. And chrome to track the good buddies down at the Iron Skillet. It needed lights, I guess, too. But once the truck is at a point where you can't back into a drop lot, I mean, that just is a waste of time. It doesn't make any sense to me. Those minutes that were taken off that ELD, that driver will then complain about they're not making any money when they could just have a regular sized truck and make more money. Oh, Mad Mally, it's time to eat. Excellent. What are we having today? We're going to have roller wieners for everybody? Oh, we should do that at the truck show. Wish I could get them there. Did Volvo jokes exist back when they made cab overs? Yeah, they didn't have Volvo cab overs here. How come white doesn't exist anymore? They got bought up. They are bought up. That's a truck I learned to drive on. That was a white Road Commander. White is a truck brand name, and it was a Road Commander. It was a cab over, and they commanded the road, and that's what they used in the truck school to teach us how to drive on the roads. Oh, Al John's in Memphis. Chris sends a note. Thank you. I appreciate that. That'll be put in your file. Appreciate it. Comfortable man, what's going on? Good to see you here today. Funniest thing you saw was an 880 automatic trying to back up. Cab looking like it should have been on Dancing with the Stars. Depending on what year it is, the driver didn't know to put it in creep mode. So, and that doesn't mean the mode that says offensive comments to every woman that walks by. That's creeper mode. So you got to put it in creep mode, and then the automatics creep back just like a car, and they back in the dock smoothly. So put it in creep mode, not creeper mode, creep mode always. You'll get a giant condo sleeper, yeah. But we don't want to go so big that you can't back in anywhere. You're going to take a Triscuit and put ham and cheese and mustard. Okay, well, at least it's something. Ozark's no good, but you get paid for everything because you're hourly. So if you're hourly, you're going to run the speed limit. You'll run legal, right? Nobody's going to violate the law. Roller wieners in the CR England 3-bunk truck. Yeah, they get them there without stopping at the truck stop. Hey-o, he said it. Wonder, would white still make cab overs? No, probably not. No, because nobody here makes them. So they just wouldn't go over. Europe, every person from Europe that sends me a picture, it's a beautiful cab over. You know, an MAN or Volvo or something here. No, Mercedes. Here, nothing. Roderick, what's going on? Thanks for popping in today. White was owned by Chevy. Yeah, we had the Chevy GMC Brigadier and the Chevy... What's the Chevy version of that? I can't... Top Kick. Right. Top Kick. And Major General, for I forget what how the other ones went. Used to cook on a truck motor. We cooked on the car motor a couple times in Boy Scouts. You learned to drive in an International Transtar too, with a Cummins and a 4+4 nice. So you learned how to truck on a truck. Holy mackerel. Before you were talking about the high vis, I thought it was Caterpillar, not Cat Scale. I always get that messed up. Yeah. They do give you time off every Monday. Yes, you're right. You do get Mondays off. Roadkill on the Manifold. That's free at least. Check the trailer. So what's the latest news on Swift? Oh, right. You just came in. So, the Swift lawsuit, they're going to pay if maybe you are, and you could tell me, because I asked earlier, if anybody has leased a truck from Swift through Interstate Equipment Leasing, which is Swift's lease back to 1999, you're going to get part of this $100 million settlement because they didn't want to go to court. The drivers were suing to be reclassified as employees, not independent contractors, because Swift does not allow you to take the truck anywhere else when you lease it from them. So because of that, they didn't want that in court to be decided. So what they did is just settle that lawsuit for $100 million. You could get up to $5,000 depending on when you lease the truck. So if you leased a truck from them since 1999, and this is a big problem for other lease companies, believe me, because they're next. Let's see. I was a Ford F-Max in the USA. You want a Ford? Oh, I've seen some of those smaller. Yeah. I had a Ford 9000 a couple of times, pulling different things. Never drive a truck. A name is two different letters than reference to part of, well, okay, time zone, maybe, right? I drove a Road Commander for 2 years. Wow. I was young then, and it beat you to death. Yeah, it wasn't great but I mean, that's what we learned on. That's what they had at the truck school. It was old then, but that's what it was. And it taught you the skills to drive. It got us our license. Back when the trucks were trucks and trying not to be like cars. Look, it's quiet. You want it quiet in there if you're in there all day. At least we could rely on truckers to take out the zombie deer. Yes. White tried to get too big and failed. First truck I drove was a B model Mack with a triplex. Holy mackerel. These are way, I've never even been in one of those. I've seen them. I had a few R models, but never been in a B model with the, and I never had a triplex, only a duplex, which ironically was a Mack. So Ford cab over with a 6V92 Detroit, man. I haven't seen a Ford cab over in a while either. That's great. That will affect all truck companies that do leasing, yes. Because if the IRS says, look, you're not independent unless a few things happen. And one of the things is you have to be able to sell your services on the open market. That's what the IRS says. That means I work here for a week. I can work there for a week. I work here and there, everywhere here and there. And then I'm back to where I was. And so that's how it goes. That's how it goes. All these leases, including Swift, says the truck has to be on here. You have to do it here. You're an employee then. So Swift was afraid of that. And believe me, if they thought they were going to win that, Swift would fight it. They're huge. So when you lease from these smaller companies, they're not going to be able to fight it. And it's going to be a real problem. So I think that, and it's from the Prime decision, where Prime said everybody has to go to arbitration. The driver, Prime said everybody has to go to arbitration. The drivers at least fought them because the law says that transportation workers are exempt. They're exempt from arbitration clauses. Prime fought it all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. They decided against Prime because the law says no arbitration. So now that Prime lawsuit is going forward for class action against Prime for the same kind of thing. Swift was already in the works before this one. So it was further along, so Swift settled it because they do not want a decision that makes leased operators employees. Oh my gosh, that would be a huge problem for the operator and the company. And they do not want that to be decided in court. So they're just paying everybody off. You could get up to $5,000 if that is you. It's a Euro truck. It's going to be a Scania. Yeah. They're Look, I have Mercedes, Scanias. I get pictures, right? MAN. They run the trucks over there. Absolutely. You don't see any Freightliners over there, certainly. That will affect DAF is the Euro Packer brand. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I have seen some of those trucks. So in 77, you're driving that. Holy moly. Petroleum haulers just fuel around all day and pass gas all night. Oh, that would make a good shirt. You should make a shirt with that. They should sell that at the Loves next to the armor and the chainmail plating that they have there now. Swift seems to be really trying hard to be a decent company. They are now. I mean, they've changed their ways some. This one, they were going to fight, but they didn't settle this lawsuit certainly to be a decent company. They settled it to save themselves money. So this $100 million is just pennies compared to what they would have paid, because if the court said people back to 99 were employees, they would have to pay workman's comp all the way back. They'd have to pay everybody's Social Security, everybody's unemployment, and all that for all those years. And that's a real problem for them. Then it becomes a real problem for you, because if you lease that truck, and so now the court says, now you're an employee for all these years, you potentially, and I don't know how this would pan out, but this seems like it would work. So if they say you're an employee for 3 years, those 3 years, you will have to go back and refile your taxes, an amended form, a 1040X form. And you don't get all your deductions. That Social Security, they paid it. You don't get that part you paid, you're not going to get to deduct. All the per diem, you won't get. It's not allowed. So it's a real problem for lease operators as well. And really, look, you're just renting a truck from your company. Let's put it that way. If you're a solo lease operator without training anybody, without using somebody to make your truck payment, you don't make any more at the end of the year than a good company driver makes at a good company at the end of the year. If everything is equal, you really don't. And no one has yet sent me any kind of thing that says, any different. Oh, I make more. I don't. But when you talk to them, it turns out they don't make any more of that. Mercedes-Benz is Euro Freightliner. Well, I don't know about that. The cab overs they have look super cool. Used to work for Coastal Carriers. Great company, but not the highest paying out there. Is that the one with the two fish that they had on the side, like in the yin and yang position? Steve the Slurpee. Exactly. It was a good business decision. That's how they make all these decisions. They're like, it's going to cost us $1 billion or $100 million. So let's just shut these people up. And they don't take independence out of California anymore. Swift doesn't. They stopped it. People that were out there had to transition to being a true owner-operator where they bought it themselves and had their own authority, or transition back to being an employee, a company driver. And that's going to spread around the country too. Consolidated started Freightliner in 33. Yeah, way back when. That's how we got these Freightliners to start with. Some Swift employees still operate from the basement. But does this will this affect you? Had you leased a truck from them since 1999? I haven't had anybody come on and say that they do it. Daimler bought Freightliner, Western Star. I still like my Western Stars. Hey, Wild Bill, good to see you out here. Oh, good. I get a question that I don't normally get. Who do I drive for? People don't usually ask me that, but I'll go ahead and put it out there today that I don't ever say who I drive for, unlike most people on YouTube. I keep them out of my videos. So that keeps them out of the videos, and I don't recruit for anybody either. So I don't recruit for my company, as almost every person on YouTube does. I don't do that. That keeps them out. Thanks for that, Wild Bill, because I don't get that question often enough. Al, finding a good company in trucking is like trying to find a good barbecue in Idaho. They're there, but you just have to look. If people would look, this is your whole career. So when you're getting into trucking, if you'll take a few hours, even a day, to figure out, learn something about the industry and figure out, it can change your life by $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 your first year. That's huge money where you're actually going to get paid. Don't just jump at the first place, that comes in your truck school and it hands pizza out for the day, which a lot of them do. Coastal Carriers had the Statue of Liberty, St. Louis Arch, and palm trees, symbolizing coast to coast. Who was the fish then? Seems like there were two dolphins. Was it dolphin transport? Maybe that were like chasing each other around. I don't know. What's my go-to truck stop food? Well, roller wieners are always that trucking answer's favorite. Like the restaurant or the roller grill. How many times have you witnessed a roller grill bandit? Like almost all the time, people just grab them and walk out. And you don't know if they paid for it or not. That's the thing. You can go up and pay and go, I'm going to grab one of them. You go up to the counter and go, I'm going to grab your wiener on the way out. And so then you just take your wiener and leave. So you don't know if they paid that because they don't want to wait there and have their wiener get all cold and soggy in their hand. Gets all it doesn't stand up or whatever when you hold it like that. So, because you want it to be fresh. So it happens all the time in those places. You know, I like the burritos that they have at the Pilot, but I don't like stopping at the Pilot also. Some Loves are increasing their hot food too, which I really like, so that you can grab it and go. But they did ask me to do an illegal run a few months back. Oh, yeah, not you. Okay, so I was just wondering. I would say all companies probably do that. As long as you turn them down and they don't give you any more grief about it, you know, they're just trying to get the stuff done in a way that, you know, that's probably everywhere. I don't like it. They shouldn't do it. I agree. You suggest current vacuum service. They're paid decent for being in the oil fields, and they're hiring in Bakersfield. Is there oil fields there, or are they just running the oil fields out there? Oil fields are paying $25, $30 an hour or more. I see in ads. A lot of them allow you to live there. They have like a little house or a Quonset hut or something that you live in. And overtime, I mean, they're paying easy $2,000 or more for a lot of them. Swift fired those that were involved. Good. Good. That's even better. That teaches everybody else a lesson. Good. I mean, that's what the company should do. Dolphin Lines. Okay, so it is Dolphin. It was Dolphin Trucking. I don't know why I thought it, maybe Coast, I just thought it was, that was what it was. Why isn't New York banned the 5-gallon refill mugs? They banned 32-ounce soda. Yeah, you can get these gigantic refills. And I love when drivers get Mountain Dew or whatever in them. I thought, wow, that's like 8,000 calories in there. It's not like I'm super skinny, but man, that is a lot of soda. Soup is usually available near the roller grill. You can't have soup and drive at the same time. And if you don't ask for it just right, no soup for you. Like chicken on a stick from mom and pops. There are not enough of those, right? I mean, there's Loves everywhere. You can buy the stuff with your points. And some of the Loves are getting a hot thing like the Pilots. I've seen them coming out. The one at the 230 on I-65 has it now. And that's the first place I've seen it. And she's like, oh, it's going to go to all the Loves. So it's in Indiana, 230 in Indiana, I-65. And it's going to be just like a Pilot in there. You'll be able to grab and go the stuff that you want to take with you. Because, you know, not everybody wants to just sit and eat at the Loves. Most of them only have fast food in them, certainly. Your neighbor is looking for a company that has a refresher course. There are some of those. Do you know any that would recommend? Well, Schneider has a refresher course. And most of the large places do. I know Freymiller has a refresher course. But Schneider is big on that kind of stuff. And a lot of the companies, even the better companies, they have a refresher as well. If you already have your license, like Maverick and that, they're certainly worth a call even for that, to check on a refresher course so that they can get back into trucking much faster than going all the way back to truck school. You like Pilot. Why don't I like Pilot? The parking is usually a problem. The parking lots are not set up good. Sometimes the parking is paid in there, and I don't like them doing that necessarily. It's okay with me, but you know, and the lots are just small. They're just not great. And at a Pilot, you get a lot of drivers from these large companies because they have a deal to fuel at Pilot. So you get more people fueling in there. If you go to an off truck stop that's not a Pilot, there's less of large mega carriers fueling. They're not allowed to. I have an OpenCom data card. I can fill up anywhere I want. So I'm not going to wait in a long line behind 5, drivers that are filling up when I can just go to another truck stop and fill up. So it just makes it easier for me. A Kern is $22 an hour, and they treat you well. It's really good. Starter company. They have many big leases here, including 2 to 3 big Chevron leases. 22 plus overtime, I'm sure, right? That's how it usually works at that place in the oil fields. With the hours you get, I mean, that's going to be great money. Any good paying company in Texas? I don't know if you can work in Maverick out of Texas. I'm not sure about that. You can go to Kern Vacuum Service in Texas. Millis is also in Texas, though. White Castles are gut grenades like crystals. Interesting fact about me, after my wife and I got married, where did we go? White Castle. We had the reception at White Castle, and every year on our anniversary, I get my wife White Castles, and I get them the number of them that is our anniversary number. So is that not romantic? Look, you got to think about this. You're thinking, I'm going to be married a long time. This is a very inexpensive anniversary gift, and it shows a lot of thought. So even now, I'm only up to $12 a year or whatever, $15. I think they were 60 cents this year. Look, that's where we went. I have a videotape of it, which is only on videotape, so I don't know what to do with that. But that's where we went, and I bought White Castles for everybody. Very, very interesting. I love it. That White Castle has since closed, but they're a super favorite of mine. White Castle. I started driving in '64. Ooh, hauled gravel, the 5-speed with 2-speed electric box in the rear. I had that in a Brigadier. Paid $15 a day. 19 years old. Wow. And you're still driving. That's awesome. That's pretty awesome. That is really awesome, by the way. I had a Brigadier with a 5+2, which is what I called it, and it had the electric rear end, and it worked pretty good. That is really great. You must really love it. It's your whole life. Comfortable Man White Castle. Look, they're the greatest. I'm with Wild Bill. They rock in Indiana, right? This side of the Mississippi, the best. You like the 100-ounce mug. If anything, got some nice cold coffee in the morning. The thing would keep it, what keeps your shifter arm strong. We don't have to keep our shifter arm, I guess, because it's not being strong from shifting anymore. Lifting this 30-pound jug of soda, it would help. Maverick is near Little Rock. You pass them 3 times. Yeah, I just don't know if they are in Texas. Probably, but I'm not sure about it. White Castles are gut bombs. Look, there's no better wedding present than a sack of White Castles. And so even now, you know, I'm up to 23 of them this year I got. That's still inexpensive. And the thought, you got to think about it. You're going to get married, you got to think about this. Man, when I'm married all these years, you can't start out huge with some $1,000 gift, because what are you going to do when you're married all these years? Or buy a Rolls Royce? No. I'm still in under 25 bucks. Well worth it. No White Castles in Alabama. No, you get Crystals down there if there's any in the area. And White Castles are north and east of the Mississippi River in the north part. Does Maverick have a terminal in Texas? I don't know about that. Since they're so close to Little Rock, maybe not. They have a small flatbed terminal in Texas. They hire reefer drivers. Oh, all right. So you can become a reefer driver. That would be my preferred thing. TLD, they call it, temperature division or whatever they call it. It's not TLD, temperature, TCD, temperature control. That'd be what I would do at my age. But if you're younger, I like the mental, it's like a Jenga puzzle. I like figuring out flatbeds. Look at a load and figure out, how am I going to strap this down and chain it and make it stay there? You know, make it legal, make it stay there. It can be a good challenge. It's a good mental challenge. Nothing says I love you like tiny hamburgers. Exactly. You all can laugh at that. Every year, right, when I put that amount of them, and it's one more every year on the table, that is way better than a gigantic, expensive gift or whatever. Believe me, because it isn't the gift, right? It's the idea. And I take the time and go there every year and get these White Castles. So, you know, maybe it's 25 bucks, $20. That's worth the same as a $1,000 gift that somebody gets just because they think that they have to get an expensive gift. Really. Let's take a Blue Parrot break. Yeah, we want to always thank Blue Parrot for sponsoring the channel, being a friend of truck drivers everywhere. Always stay legal and use a Blue Parrot. Have I ever been to a Huddle House? No, I've seen them. I've been to a Waffle House. Can't find a Waffle House. It's pretty much the same. Right. It's basically the same kind of thing. I haven't been in one of those, though. Time for lunch and get some sun in Laredo. Nice. Yeah, you can get some sun here, right, too. Put out the vice president in charge of napping has been enjoying it here as well. Hey, Mark, after another 15 years, you have a meal big enough to fill you up? Exactly right. You got to get extras, especially early in your marriage. You can't just get those, but you also have those separated. You put 2 of them there, and then a meal. Go, here's your 2 our anniversary, right? Perfect. I mean, what is better than that? And the thought, it is the thought. Believe me, you know, that's Dr. Phil advice for the day. It doesn't matter how much you spend. It matters what it means. How about that? You and your wife like Marco's Pizza, right? We like A-Zip Pizza. How about that? It's a small pizza place here in town, only in Lafayette. A comfortable man is going back to bed. You got to drive all night. I hear you. I love driving nights. So, you know, I start out later and come back later. I love it. That's the way I do. I don't have to do it. I've been here a long time. I could drive days if I wanted to. I choose not to do that. This is way better. Way better. Always do the nights. But that's a personal thing. Some people only do days. For me, it's always nights. I don't like to set an alarm. So thanks for coming in, comfortable man. And as I pass up the time, 3:30, I'm going to sign out of here. I want to thank everybody for coming in today because I do have to go to work and make the company some money. So it's been great today as usual. And I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm always amazed, right, that anybody comes in. I really am. I say that, but it really does mean a lot to me that people come into the show every week. So I appreciate it, and all the information about these companies. You can always write to me, mark@truckinganswersnation.com. And I answer every email. I really do. It takes a day or two to get them answered, and then I'll get you an answer. So that's how it goes. Frankie Rich, your favorite channel. I appreciate it. One of the favorites. I'll take that anyway, even one of the favorites. I do appreciate you coming in here and spending time with me. White Castle is a breakfast sandwich? No. It's White Castle's day and night. Same. The cheeseburger day and night doesn't matter what time of day it is, right? Josh, you be safe too. I appreciate it. Wow, Bill, thanks for coming in today. Steel Horse, I appreciate seeing you every week. I do appreciate you coming in here. Al Johns, thanks for coming in. Street Scores, I appreciate that. Really spread the news, but I do appreciate you coming in here every week, and we keep the drama down and the information up. Oh, and that could be a good slogan too. Remember, end of next week is the truck show, so be there, right? Check it out. And Flavio, thanks for coming in. See you later. I got to head off to work and feed the vice president in charge of napping who's giving me the evil eye. So thanks for coming in. We will see you next Monday. And, of course, videos coming soon. There's a dash cam video that should be up today. If you're interested in a dash cam, they gave me a discount code to give everybody. And I don't get paid off of that. So that isn't paid for me. But they're giving an extra discount for that. And I've got some video on there. It's live out there if you're interested in a dash cam. They did. I said, give me a discount or whatever. So they did do it. Check it out. And we'll see you next Monday. Thanks for being here. Be safe, everybody. And put some shoes on.